Good afternoon, Pippins fans, and welcome into Pippins pregame here on your Wednesday afternoon. The Pippins get ready for Game 2 against the Wenatchee AppleSox. In the next 2 days, as promised, we've got a special guest up in the booth. This is my dad, Dwayne Johnson. And, Dad, you also have been doing some broadcasting. Not your first job, but why don't you explain to the Pippins viewers where you come from on the microphone?
So the last couple of years, I've been doing the broadcast for the Pecos League out of North Platte, Nebraska. It's a very low-level pro team. Harmon started there. He bailed on me, the guys wanted me to keep going, so I took over the play-by-play role. I'm not a play-by-play guy, but I have managed to figure out how to do it, and I'm going to spend a couple days here doing color analyst for Harmon tonight.
Just like we did back in 2024, back in North Platte. It's so exciting to be back with you again. We had Mom on the broadcast last night. What do you look forward to coming to your first Pippins game? You weren't here when you dropped me off last summer.
Yeah, last year I didn't get to see any Pippins games at all other than on TV. So last night was my first impression of seeing it, on the field, watching the guys play. They struggled last night with leaving a lot of guys on base. Other than that, it was a very joyous atmosphere around here. Looks like the ball club is having a lot of success with bringing in the crowd. The atmosphere with the security guards is really interesting. He was jumping around all night long. So I was really impressed with what you got going on here in Yakima.
The Pippins tonight hosting golf night. You look like you're ready to go out onto the links. You and I have shared some golf memories as well together. What can you tell me about how that sport shaped our relationship together?
It's an opportunity to, really collaborate on what you have to do. Golf is one of those, you don't just go out and hit a ball. You gotta understand what you're doing. There's certain ways of doing it. I think that's helped us kind of collaborate on how to do things the right way, maybe not being that top, you got to hit the ball 100 miles type of deal. I always preached with you, hit a ball in the fairway, it's a lot easier to play things. So I think that's one of those things. You're going to see that same thing in baseball. There's a lot of mindset you have to do in baseball to be successful.
Coming off of Father's Day earlier this week, you kind of think of a coach like Coach Crustangel. You saw him for the first time in person last night, kind of being that father figure to this team. What is the relationship like between a dad and his son in the sport of baseball?
It's really interesting. We had an opportunity. I got to coach you, obviously, in Legion Ball, and being able to have that time to really develop and give you my background, my ideas, how to make you a better person on the baseball field. Now you're kind of trying doing that same thing with the broadcasting side, where you're getting to show me how to do a lot of those things.
The Pippins take the field tonight for Game 2. After seeing what you saw last night, we've got a hard-throwing righty on the mound tonight. What do you expect out of the Pippins tonight before we talk to Coach Crustangel?
I think you're going to see them bounce back tonight. They had a rough night with not scoring runs when they left a lot of guys on base. But I think overall you're definitely going to see the guys come out. The energy, you see them in the background. They seem like they're ready to play every night. So I think you're going to see them come out with a lot of energy and ready to find a way to even the series.
Coach Crustangel, we're going to talk to him next. Pippins and AppleSox Game 2. My dad and I going to be your hosts for the next 2 nights. Stick with us here on the pregame. Talking here with Pippins head coach Kyle Crustangel. Coach, last night, not the results you want against your former squad, but coming into tonight, a new night. It's golf night. There's going to be a decent crowd on hands. The weather has cooled off with the clouds today. What are you looking for tonight?
Yeah, I'm looking for us, post-game, the big talk was on jobs. I think we had 4 innings with guys on third base, less than 2 outs, and we didn't collect. I think Wenatchee did a much better job of guys on second, hitting behind the runner, getting a guy to third base, hitting the sac fly if the infield's in, hitting the ground ball if the infield's back. I think we had the same opportunities. I think we were trying to do too much. It's easy with second and third, 1 out, to want to go drive in 2, have a double, and there's times for that. But at times, if you can just collect the 1 run 4 times throughout the ball game, 4 more runs on our column would have been a whole heck of a lot closer those last 3 innings for more focused at bats and to win the game. So again, stress jobs, each guy's got to contribute to what the game's given them. Sometimes there's a game to be more free swingy, and sometimes you got to lay a bunt down, move a guy over, and score a guy. And it's not always maybe the sexy stat line that guys are looking for, but it's how you win baseball games. And each day it's going to present different opportunities for different guys to be in different situations. But having having a team buy-in there. So I think the guys understood. To me, it just felt like one team got 3 or 4 runs off jobs, one team did not get 3 or 4 runs off jobs, and there's your ball game. So I look for Jay to go out there tonight, give us a great outing, continue on with great success he's had through his first 3 starts. Look for the offense to do jobs, keep guys on base. I mean, we got 11 hits last night. The offense has done a great job. I think he also, we made an error too, and they really took advantage of that. We got to play clean. Anytime you're playing against another top squad, having to get 4 outs against a good lineup is going to equal some runs, and they made us pay. There'll be other nights where you make an error too, and they just keep flying out or striking out. It doesn't hurt you, and they kind of made us hurt last night. So I think flip the script, and it's our job to apply some pressure, run the bases, and play clean D.
The first half, the standings kind of shaking out the way they are. Ridgefield looks like they're going to run away with that first half. But you guys still in second place, got some help from some teams last night. Going into the last 5 or so games of this first half, how do you motivate this team to get ready to go into the second half and remain in contention for either a second half title or a wild card spot?
Yeah, and I'm going to answer the question just like I do when I explain this to the guys day one and sometimes on air. Is to me, no series, no half is more important than the game at hand. I look at everything in a 3-game sample size. So yesterday we took a loss against Wenatchee. We have 2 more against Wenatchee. Then we'll move on to Kelowna. Obviously, as coaches, we know the first half free bid into playoffs is going to be off the table. But the top 4 in our division make it, and we're currently, I believe, in second place. So everything ended today. We're in the postseason, and no matter if you're a 1 seed, a 2, a 3, or a 4, records go back to 0-0 once you get in. We've put ourselves, 22 games in where we're in the playoffs, and then when we get to 57 games in, we want to be in a situation where we're in the playoffs. So for us, no emergency button. I don't like to think about resetting records to 0-0 at the break. For us, it's a 3-game sample size, and our goal is to go out and win 2 out of 3 games every 3-game window against a new color, new jersey, new town, new field on whoever we're playing. We got to take care of our stuff. Don't really care who we're playing. If we take care of our business, we'll like the results more often than not.
All right, you told me you had a pick to click tonight. Who is it?
Yeah, so, I'm going Malachi tonight. Malachi's going to be in the DH spot. I think his last 4 or 5 ABs he got rewarded last night with the base knock, but lined out a couple times on the road. I think he's seeing the ball a lot better. I look for him to get back in the HR column. I think he's going to hit his second home run tonight. I think it'll be over the Jersey Mike's party deck, but I think those people will get a nice little view of a ball leaving over them.
All right, Malachi Emery Henderson, you hear it first from Coach Krusty. Coach, good luck tonight.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
We've got starting lineups coming up next. Krusty, thanks again.
Thank you.
And now it's time for your Yakima Valley Pippins starting lineup, as announced by Pippins head coach Kyle Krustangel. Leading off and playing center field, number 7, Jay O'Neill. Batting second, the shortstop, number 26, Daichi Furuhata. Batting third, the first baseman, number 17, Nick Velasquez. Batting cleanup, the catcher, number 25, Parker Burt. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 15, Luis Garcia. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 4, Trey Godoy. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 40, Malachi Emery Henderson. Batting eighth, the third baseman tonight, number 16, Derek Almeida. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 6, Cole Hubka. Again for the Pippins, O'Neill, Furuhata, Velasquez, Burt, Garcia, Godoy, Emery Henderson, Almeida, and Hubka. On the mound, Jake Cumming. We'll tell you about him when we get back. That's the Pippins starting lineup. First pitch is next here on Pippins Pregame.
Two and two. Ellis needs to dial one in. Tension building here at Yakima County Stadium. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Ball game over. 2-1 victory. Pippins over Sweets.
First pitch, a high drive out towards right. Back goes Chavez. He's looking up. Bye-bye baseball. Grand slam. Dylan Anderson. Bring him home and touch them all. He's been here all summer, and it finally pays off.
That was all we needed. 2-1, the final score, and we get ready for fireworks as a happy bunch. Another great day to be at the ballpark here at Yakima County Stadium as the Pippins and the AppleSox do battle in game number 2 of this 3-game series, North versus South, first place
versus second. Welcome into the broadcast booth, everybody. My name's Harmon Johnson, your voice of the Pippins, alongside my dad and my color commentator the next 2 days, Dwayne Johnson. Dad, we're about to have the national anthem, but give me one quick hit of your impression before tonight's game.
You know, I was out here before the season started last year. This ballpark is a great ballpark to be at. I love the atmosphere, love the seating around here. Everything is really set up for the fans to enjoy what they're doing.
Pippins and AppleSox about to start game number 2. We're going to step aside really quick for the national anthem, but we'll be back with the last few bits of pregame and the first pitch between the Pippins and the AppleSox. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 about to start here at Yakima County Stadium.
University can stand up forensic science. Before that, Riley will perform tonight. Your nation's anthem.
Our nation's anthem come and gone here at Yakima County Stadium. That means it's about time for baseball between the Pippins and the AppleSox, the two teams that represent apples as a fruit in the West Coast League, squaring off after the AppleSox won last night 9-4. Conditions here at the ballpark are fairly warm. We had actually cooled off earlier today with some cloud cover that came through, but now it's 88 degrees here at the ballpark, the wind blowing out to right at about 8 miles an hour. And on the mound tonight for the Pippins is a man that's going to throw very fast, but sometimes the walks come back to get him. It's Jake Cumming making his 4th start of the season. On the year, 13 innings he has pitched, 10 hits, 8 runs, only 3 of them earned, gives him a 2.08 ERA, 9 walks to 17 strikeouts. That guy that's going to have some velocity, but sometimes it can come back to bite him.
Yeah, and, you know, and a guy that throws hard, you're going to live with that sometimes. You know, you're going to have that strikeout guy is going to struggle every once in a while with the zone, and it's going to dance on him a little bit. But the fact that he's got basically a 2-to-1 ratio, optimal is closer to 3-to-1, but 2-to-1 in this league, I'm guessing, is probably a pretty good ratio compared to what you normally see.
Out of Fernley, Nevada, just wrapped up a season at Coppin State. In his 4th season in the West Coast League, becoming a true journeyman here in the summer-type atmosphere. You don't see quite as many guys stick with one league in their collegiate career for all 4 seasons, but he told me before this season started he was with Port Angeles the last 3 years. He's in his 4th year. He wants to make the All-Star team, and certainly with that 2.08 ERA, he's setting himself up to do so.
Yeah, great way to get recognized and get yourself an opportunity to get there. And like you said, journeyman, that is just really uncommon when you talk about college woodback leagues. Usually you see a guy go 1, maybe 2 years, and that's about as much as you're going to see him getting into the woodbat league side of it.
The lineup for Wenatchee starts with Jonas Shields, Kainoa Santiago, and Colin B. Zizzo, the same 3 that led off yesterday for the AppleSox. Following them, Landon White, Kanoa Morisaki, Cooper Brass, Jake Overstreet, the designated hitter, bats 7th, James Castagnola, and Raphael Dunn. A very similar lineup to last night, where the AppleSox put up 9 runs on 11 hits and left 12 men stranded. They scored 4 in the first inning. Pippin's trying to avoid that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. That first inning just kind of set the tone for them last night. They got off with a quick start, and that's just hard in any league to come back when you're down 4 right off the bat, because it just kind of puts a little bit of a discouragement in you to start the game.
First pitch of the ball game is just a bit high and tight. It's 6:35 p.m. here in Yakima. Temperatures 88 degrees, partly cloudy at Yakima County Stadium. Glad you're with us. I'm Harmon Johnson alongside my dad, Dwayne Johnson, play-by-play voice for the North Platte 80s of the Pecos League, coming out to visit me for a couple of days and hopping on the broadcast. There's a little bit of the velocity we talked about just momentarily. 92 on the radar gun from Cumming.
Good way to start. You know, his arm's feeling good, ready to rock and roll. Temperature's up a little bit compared to when we got to the ballpark where it was cloudy, and that I'm sure has loosened him up a little bit.
Foul ball out of play. It's 1-2. We saw this a week ago in the Bend series. There was a game, the middle game of that series, that finished 15-13. The weather that day was 84 degrees, but the wind was blowing hard out to right. When it gets hot here at the ballpark, the ball tends to fly.
Well, and watching the forecast last night, they were talking 20 to 30 mile an hour winds today. Right now, the flag's not doing much.
Wave and a miss, and on 4 pitches, Jonas Shields is retired. Better start than last night. Shields walked to start the game, 1 up and 1 down for Jake Cumming.
Yeah, good pitch there, down and away, out of the zone. Get him go fishing for one and get that early strikeout.
That was a changeup from Jake. He's basically a 3-pitch guy. Hard fastball, a little bit softer on the changeup, and then a breaking ball. You see that a lot with these right-handed arms that can throw with some velocity, is that 3-pitch mix. Now Kainoa Santiago digs in. First pitch to the Gonzaga freshman is a strike. He comes out of Portland, Oregon, and on the season is batting .409 through 20 games.
Good way to start the first half of your year. Anytime you're batting over 400, you know you're seeing the ball well.
Couldn't quite get that one. It's 1-1 on the foul ball. Jake touching 94. That's as fast as I've seen him throw this year. So like you said, maybe the warm weather helping him out. Maybe he's amped up here against the North Division leader, trying to spoil some of their first half fun.
Now, these guys know who they're facing and know the guys that are hot coming in.
Ball 1 there.
They always want to find ways to take care of the guys that are batting better than what they think they should be. That's just natural of any young kid. They want to show their dominance over the other team's better hitter.
A lot of these AppleSox batting above 300, a couple of them close to this 400 range that we see Santiago in. He had a home run last night as Jake goes with a changeup to move the count to 2-2. That home run was a 3-1 pitch that was left over the middle of the zone. With this kind of velocity, you got to be careful if you're coming.
Yeah, short porch over there and right. If you yank it right down the line, it's the wind is blowing out. That one off to the left side. I'm trying not to jump in on your play-by-play. I do the play-by-play in North Platte, and so it's natural for me to want to play it out. I'm trying to let you have the play-by-play, and I'll try to stay color for you.
That's 2 balls and 2 strikes after that foul ball. Santiago, here comes the pitch. A changeup hard of the zone, called strike 3. Back-to-back punchies for Jake Cumming. Great start to this ball game.
And that'll set a tone all the way around. That will help your bats when they get into the dugout here in the bottom of the first inning. Just the excitement of having things go a lot better to start the game than they did last night.
Colin Bizizzo digs into that left-hand box. So back-to-back lefties to face this right-handed hurler. From Everett, where he spent 2 seasons in a JUCO. That changeup dancing pretty well for Cumming. He throws it for strike 1. Second season in the WCL for Bizizzo. He spent 6 plate appearances for the Springfield Drifters back in 2024. Now here in 26 with Wenatchee. 1-1, 93 on the radar gun for Jake. On the season with the AppleSox, only his 4th game. He's batting .286. He's got 4 hits, 2 of them for extra bases. Wave and a miss on the 1-1, and Jake a strike away from picking up strikeout number 20 on the season.
Opportunity to strike out the side. Not an easy feat in any league, no matter what you're doing.
After the AppleSox scored 4 runs in the first inning last night, Jake Cumming trying to strike out all 3. The 1-2, a wave and a miss. Jake Cumming does strike out the side, and he sets the tone immediately for the Yakima Valley Pippins. 3 up, 3 down. Bottom of the first is next here at the Orchard.
tip-off between Douglas and Parker. And these two guys are going to show us why golf can be played David or basically which is amazing. So I'm going to have you guys line up with me. We got our pull down there. They're each going to take one shot. And if someone can miraculously make it in, that'd be amazing. But closest to the pin will win. Who would like to go first? There goes Doug. He's going to win a bit short. Parker, the lefty's going to take his. Oh, well, right. I think Douglas is going to be our winner for closest to the pin, and I give it up.
We do want to welcome the whole youth group here tonight. Whole youth group, where are you? Very excited to be here.
He turned around. I was focused on me and Terry. We both go. I don't know who put Bobby in there.
Welcome back to Yakima County Stadium. Dylan Schlinger is going to be the pitcher for the AppleSox to start tonight. 1-1 record, 6.48 ERA. Making only his second start. He's playing in his fifth game, though. 11 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned. 1 walk to 8 strikeouts is a very positive number. You just wonder how deep he's going to go after the AppleSox used quite a few members of their bullpen last night, getting a short start from Chihiro Sato.
Yeah, with the fact he's only got 8 1/3 innings coming in, you can't expect him to go probably more than 2, maybe 3 tops as far as innings, depending on what the Pippins can do early with the bats. And so if you can get into the bullpen again, that gives you a big advantage early in the game if you can jump right into their bullpen 2 nights in a row.
Schlinger from Columbia Basin, CBC, one of the top JUCOs in the area. The last 2 years with them appears to have 8 wins and 9 losses, or 8 wins and 8 losses to his record. He was definitely used as a starter in 2025 as Jay O'Neill sends the first pitch he sees out to center field. Shields makes the catch. 1 up and 1 down for Schlinger.
It's an out, but that's a good swing. Tried to drive it right back up the middle, just a hair underneath it, and elevated it long enough for the center fielder to come across. But he saw it well, didn't try to do too much with it, just drive it right back where it came from.
Well, and you know Schlinger has starting experience looking at his numbers. In 2025, 83 1/3 innings pitched through 15 games and 13 starts. So even though he hasn't made very many starts, this is only his second in summer ball with Wenatchee, he definitely has the experience to go deeper into a game if he's needed. The question is, how built up is he after his spring season?
Right. You know, and you're way more, familiar with these guys as far as what they do, whether they're reliever starters coming from their colleges. I'm going to guess a lot of the guys that are pitching are typically starters, and some of them are getting put into the bullpen where they're not quite used to it. And so you got some of these guys that are typically starters at their college level, but they're pitching shorter innings here in the West Coast League.
Daichi got a piece of that to stay alive. Might have been ball 2. Furuhata on the season, batting .358, leads the Pippins in numerous categories, including runs scored with 27. Get this stat, Dad. 33 runs scored in 47 games for Southwest Oregon Community College. Already on the season through 20 games, he's got 27 runs scored.
No, that tells you that he's getting on base, finding ways to get moved around. Tell me this, Harmon, what's his on-base percentage?
.436.
And you know me, I look at that more than I look at his batting average. Guy getting on base almost every other time he comes to the plate is definitely a threat.
Daichi's been a great 2-hole hitter for Yakima Valley. Here with 1 away, he swings on a 2-2 pitch and sends it very high out towards right field. Bizizzo fighting the sun, puts it away for out number 2. A couple of flyouts here, and that'll bring up Nick Velasquez, another left-handed bat for Yakima Valley. And Nick has been just as good as Daichi in terms of getting on. He's got a .430 on-base percentage, but his batting average is a couple points higher. .329, he's got 25 hits.
So another one of those guys you want up there early in the inning, trying to find a way to get something started. Obviously, got to do it with 2 outs here.
Well, Nick, a threat in the batter's box, has 3 home runs, 1 triple, 7 doubles on the season. That's a good chunk of his hits number. Taking that first pitch for ball 1. Velasquez, a lot of pull side pop. Slugging over 500 at 566 for these Yakima Valley Pippins. He's going to send it the opposite way, and it looks like we're going to have a fly out to every field to start this game. The first one to center, the second one to right, that one to left. Santiago puts it away. Both teams down in order, both pitchers throwing a perfect game. We head to the second inning, no score here at Yakima County Stadium.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases, old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
Second inning here at the Orchard, Yakima County Stadium. It's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon turning into evening. Wenatchee sends up 4, 5, and 6 in their order after Jake Cumming struck out the side in the first inning. Landon White, the first hitter to face the Pippins right-hander here in the second. Man, Jake just filling up the strike zone as he starts him off with a 91-mile-an-hour heater on that inside part.
Well, what impressed me in that first inning is 2 of his strikeouts. He had an account. He didn't say, here it is, I'm going to throw it down the middle. He went nibbling a little bit and made sure that they had to go chase him.
A little bit of an excuse me swing on that 92-mile-an-hour fastball high and tight. That's more of a defensive reflex. And now the count 0-2 to start off here to Landon White. Another Gonzaga Bulldog batting .250 on the season.
Big opportunity for 4 in a row to start the game.
Not going to get the fourth one, but Daichi out there at short for the first time. Going to send it over. Nice pick by Nick Velasquez. One away here in the second. Daichi's been playing a lot of third, and he was a primary shortstop at Southwest Oregon Community College. Just haven't seen that much so far this season for the Pippins. Didn't look like he had a problem on that play.
Yeah, other than maybe just a little bit on the throw. You know, when you're throwing it from third compared to short, it's a different angle, different distance. If you're used to always being at the baseline throwing from third, that might, you know, he's got to make sure that he gets the ball across the diamond from the shortstop position.
Here's Kanoa Morisaki from Cal State Bakersfield, waving and missing at 94 from Jake Cumming. Third season with the AppleSox for Morisaki, batting .310 through 8 games so far this year. He had a combined 47 games in his previous 2 years coming into this 2026 season. Very familiar with Paul Thomas Senior Stadium and the West Coast League circuit. Numbers have slowly improved for him as the years have gone on, too. Batted .239 in 2024 in 21 games, .225 in 26 games in 2025, now .310 here through his first 9.
And that's exactly what coaches want to see when they send their guys to different college woodback leagues throughout the country is they want to see that improvement from year to year to year. Typically, a lot of these guys probably don't play a lot their first couple years in college, and then this is their opportunity to get reps and more playing time. Then they probably jump in their junior, senior year at a lot of colleges, and that's when they start getting to see a lot of action.
2 balls and 2 strikes. A fastball missing upstairs from Jake. Native of Honolulu, Hawaii, going into his senior year at Cal State Bakersfield. He's obviously been around quite a while. Trying to avoid being the 5th out of the ball game from Jake Cumming as the changeup was yanked inside. First time we've seen Jake get to a 3-ball count, but it's 3-2, so anything can happen.
Yeah, and like we talked earlier, a strikeout pitcher is going to have some times where you're always throwing a few extra pitches because of that.
There's Jake Cummings' first walk. Took him 4 batters to get there. That's walk number 10 on the season. So 20 strikeouts, 10 walks here in his 4th appearance. 2-to-1 ratio. You'd like to see it a little bit more spread out on the strikeout side, but with the velocity we're seeing from Jake so far, if he can keep it in the zone, he's going to have a good night.
Yeah, and tonight he's 3-1 because he had the 3 in the first inning. That's his first walk. To me, that's the thing you're always looking at as a pitching coach. 3-1, you'll take that any day of the week.
Cooper Brass digs in for his first at-bat and watches 92 over the heart of the plate to fall behind 0-1. Brass from Utah Valley, native of Chandler, Arizona. He's batting .328 for these AppleSox in his 18th game. Everybody's going to be around that .310 to .350 range, it seems like, in this order. Fastball just below the zone, 1-1.
Yeah, and I'll take your word for that since I don't see any of the stats on this. I don't have that luxury of knowing what guys are doing these 2 days.
Well, it just seems like every time that I bring up one of these new batters, it's 320, 340, 300. Of course, you had Santiago batting over 400 as there's a souvenir out towards the parking lot.
Now, would you say that's a little bit of a lot of the pitching that comes in are guys that are starting to get developed and maybe aren't the typical strong arms from the colleges because they don't want to have them in the summer?
I think it depends on where you come from. The folks that play in the NWAC, the Northwest Athletic Conference, that's a wood bat spring league for colleges. So you have a lot of these D1 guys that are so used to the metal bats. Coming in, they have a hard time adjusting as here's a ground ball back up the middle, might be 2. Hubka onto Furuhata, the relay to first. The Pippins turn their 21st double play of 2026. Jake Cumming has faced the minimum, getting some help from his defense that time. The 1 walk erased. We go to the 2nd inning. Pippin sticks up next.
Actually, testimony by one of our contestants, I think it's pretty dang good. So, Zach, Eli, and my favorite. We're going to be spinning 7 times, racing Wisconsin first there. It's going to win this 4-pack on the ball. So, you guys ready? On my count, I'll say go. 7. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys are a little bit faster. 5. Go on, Becky. 6, 7. Go. Go. But I believe Eli is going to be our winner. Give it up, guys. It is full contact Disneyland at the Orchard. Zach Gibson, ladies and gentlemen. Texas women.
What a crap.
Welcome back to the Orchard. No score, no hits yet for either side. The Pippins looking to change that as they send up their home run leader, Parker Burt, then Luis Garcia and Trey Godoy, the catcher, the right fielder, and the left fielder for the Pippins. Parker Burt had an off night last night, and Dad, you got to watch that game in person. You've probably seen some of Parker's stuff on the video since you've been out here, but 0 for 5 is very uncharacteristic for him. He's kind of been an on-base machine, whether it's hits or walks.
Well, and watching his swing last night, you could tell that he hadn't been in the ball game a few days. He looked like he was trying to pull everything really hard instead of letting the ball travel to him.
So Burt digs in, still among the top 5 in the West Coast League in batting average, even after an 0 for 5 night. But he's going to have to do some work to try to regain that MVP-type season he was putting on before the injury up in Edmonton. That's always tough. You dive into a base on your last at-bat of the day and you mess up your shoulder a little bit and you're out for a week just with a precautionary-type injury. And you kind of have to reconfigure yourself to get back into the routine you were in.
Yeah, no, it's anytime you take a few days off, whether it's just being off or injury or whatever, baseball's all about timing. And if you're missing your timing for a couple of days, it's hard to do.
Well, he might have got his timing back as he ends up with a base hit into center field. Parker Burt now with 24 on the season, and the leadoff man's aboard for Yakima Valley, first hit of the ball game.
And we were talking between innings about the wood bat versus the aluminum bat, and we were kind of talking about how the ball travels off the wood bat. I think that's a situation, if he's swinging an aluminum bat, it may have carried all the way to the center fielder where that one drops in front because it's a wood bat and there's not the carry on the wood bat if you don't hit it square.
Here's Luis Garcia. Wave and a miss on a breaking ball down and away. Garcia from Western Oklahoma State, a native of New York, New York. He's all the way out here in Yakima, Washington for the summer. Batting .246, but most of those numbers are a little bit skewed because he started off the year so slow. Since about the Edmonton series, I remember he had a 4-hit game in Edmonton. He's really taken off.
How does a guy from New York end up in Washington?
I don't know, but I'm glad we have him. He's a great outfielder. And I guess the best answer I can give to that is by way of Western Oklahoma State. His coach obviously knew somebody here, either knew one of our coaches or our general manager, Jordan, and said, hey, do you have a spot on your roster? And now he's here.
Yeah, and probably a lot of people don't understand that a lot of these players, their coaches are the ones that are kind of getting them to where they're going. It's not that the Yakima coaches are seeking out people. Certainly they have contacts that are contacting them saying, hey, you got a spot for them? And so it's all about who you know and where you're at.
It's an interesting two-way street as the count goes to 3-2 because at this point in the season, you sometimes are looking for that local kid that you need to fill the roster for a couple of weeks, not necessarily going through a head coach or an assistant coach at some place. Garcia trying to draw a walk or find a hit. The payoff pitch is sent out into right field. Bizizzo drifting back towards the track. Ballpark going to hold it as Bizizzo gets close to that short porch. There's one away here in the second.
Wind pushing that one, carried it further than I thought it was off the bat. That short porch can come into play pretty quick if you're not careful.
Yeah, it's about 305 to the first cut back. So it goes straight out from the green line, and then where it turns to go back towards the green fence, it's about 305. Of course, it's only about a 4-foot fence. Here's Trey Godoy. D1 product from UCLA, slices one over towards lefties, heads up down there. This is a guy that in the batter's box started at designated hitter in a regional game not too long ago. And, of course, UCLA was upset in their home regional, certainly was a College World Series favorite. Trey just really hasn't found his footing since getting to Yakima, batting only .091. Fouled that back, it's 0-2.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what you contribute that to. Is it the I don't want to say let down, but you were there. You're in that opportunity to maybe get to the College World Series. You didn't, and is it a little bit of that having a disappointment? Now he's got to retune himself and get ready to play again, and he just hasn't quite reached that potential.
Ball one here to Trey. Godoy had a hit during the last homestand. That's his only one so far in 11 at-bats against the Bend Elks that would have been an RBI, but it was a great play out in right field that nabbed Jay O'Neill at the plate. You wondered if maybe that would get him going, but without the RBI there, the hit, he gets left on base. 1-2, breaking ball outside, 2-2. It's a little bit of the air being taken out of the tire when you get that hit finally, but there's an out on the base paths because of it.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. It doesn't feel like a real hit at that point because there was still an out committed at the time.
And that ended the inning and prevented the Pippins from taking the lead. He's worked the count full here as a couple of breaking balls have missed from Dylan Schlinger. We've seen a couple of longer counts here to Pippins hitters after Parker's hit.
Well, and trying to get out of a funk, sometimes this is the thing. A base on balls might be the key.
On the ground, this is backhanded by White. He sends it to second base for one. The relay to first is not in time. Our field umpire, Jacob Fisher, says Trey Godoy safe. Parker Burt retired. And so Trey's on base, but there's now 2 away.
Yeah, good job by Trey to get down the line. That could have easily been, you know what, oh crap, I just hit another ball right at somebody, and he could have went 3/4 speed down the line and got doubled off. Instead, he did bust his tail down the line, made sure he beat that out.
So now here's a guy that Coach Crustangelo is really looking to click tonight. Said that BP looked good for Malachi Emery Henderson. Half swing on a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Malachi had a home run on opening night. That's his only long ball, but since then he's gotten 4 hits. He's played in 11 games since then. He's just been in a crazy kind of funk. We were talking about Parker. Malachi just can't seem to find a hit. He can't buy one as here's a ball back to the backstop. Godoy going to be on to second on the wild pitch.
Well, and you were talking about BP. I watched a few of his swings in BP. He was hitting the ball well in BP. He had at least one over the fence and a couple that I think banged off the fence. So he's obviously seeing the ball in the BP side of it. Now it's a matter of just seeing it out of the pitcher's hand.
That turquoise bat, so pretty, needs to be used a little bit better as there's a wave and a foul tip to make the count 1-2. Malachi didn't travel on one of the road trips, said he worked out privately at DBAT, which is an indoor hitting facility, and said he felt good just until last night picking up a pinch hit single, has not seen the results. 1-2, got enough to stay alive. Pretty close pitch, probably one that if he had taken might have been a ball, but too close to take comfortably.
Yeah, no, you got 2 strikes on him. You got to find a way to foul it off, whatever it takes to survive another pitch, find something that you can do something with, and that's a good piece of hitting. He didn't try to do anything with it other than foul it off.
Wave and a miss. A changeup gets Malachi, and the Pippins leave a base runner out at second base. Yakima Valley picks up a hit. Trey Godoy left on after a fielder's choice. We go to the third frame. No score here at the Orchard between the AppleSox and the Pippins.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Top of the third frame here at Yakima County Stadium. The shadows from the sun banner starting to encapsulate the distance between the plate and the mound, not necessarily obstructing the plate or the mound. We've just got those sunshades that makes a very interesting little bit of darkness as the pitch is coming in.
Yeah, and that was the one thing I noticed the very first time we came out and, got to walk the ballpark is how that going to affect different areas, because it moves constantly throughout the game, and that can create a lot of different looks as far as pitcher batter when you're looking at the shadows changing throughout at bat almost.
Jake Overstreet, James Castagnola, and Raphael Dunn, the three scheduled to hit against Jake Cumming. Got a double play behind him in the second, struck out the side in the first. Has seen only 6 batters, as this is a mile high into foul territory. Is it going to stay and play, though, is the question. No, as did that one get one of the short hops?
It did, right in the back.
Ouch. Rub some dirt on it. He'll be all right. He's a ball player.
Probably fortunate it didn't land on his head. He leaned enough towards the field right at the last second. I think it hit him right in the small of the back.
Ouch. 0-1 here to Overstreet. Batting 188 here in his 11th game as an AppleSox. Bender, strike 2 from Jake Cumming. That pitch right on the inside part of the black, and everything seems to be working right now for Cumming. Dare I jinx him here in an 0-2 count. Pitch on the way to Overstreet. That breaking ball downstairs.
But that's a good miss. 0-2, you don't want to leave it in the zone. Go see if he'll go chase one. He probably is a hair lower than he wanted it to be, but 0-2, you don't want to leave someplace that they can do something with it.
Still plenty to work with. The 1-2 pitch is a fastball upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. An interesting note about Overstreet tonight. He and both Dylan Schlinger are wearing number 5 tonight. We have 2 number 5s in the game, but one of them's the DH, one of them's a pitcher. They're never going to cross paths. 2-2 on the ground, foul. Kind of interesting that we're in a league where you don't have a specific rule. As long as the umpires and the coaches agree that that is allowed, then it can happen.
Yeah, and you're in a situation where you guys have a lot of guys coming and going because of the way the West Coast or any college wood bat league is set up, because guys might be here for 2 weeks and then somebody comes and takes a number. It's hard to have so many numbers in your arsenal of uniforms.
Wave and a miss by Jake Overstreet. 4th strikeout for Jake Cumming. 1 away here in the 3rd.
Tried to get him on a couple breaking balls. That one was just a fastball, upper part of the zone. Said, here it is. Let's see if you can do anything with it.
And up and into a righty is hard to get anywhere, especially at this ballpark where you want to try to pull it down that line as a right-handed hitter. You see that 293 out there in left field. As there's a serve into right center field. Garcia not going to get there. It one hops into the wall. First hit for the AppleSox is going to be a stand-up double by James Castagnola, and they have a 1-out base runner.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there. Didn't try to do too much with it. Went with the pitch, hit it right in that gap between center and right up against the 375 mark on the hop.
Castagnola picking up his 3rd double of his AppleSox career, 2nd one this summer, and that brings up the 9-hole hitter, Raphael Dunn. So you asked me how a guy from New York makes it out to Yakima, Washington to play a game. How about a guy from Bangkok, Thailand?
Yeah, obviously there's connections somewhere down the line.
Mound visit here by Parker Burt and Jake Cumming. Now, a couple of times last night, the AppleSox went out and discussed what had to have been the pitch types. And I think that's what Coach Krusty is talking about right now. There were a couple times last night, Jacob Fisher said there was no mound visit charged because the pitcher and the batter got crossed up for the AppleSox. And so understandably tonight, with a new home plate umpire, Coach Crestangel trying to make sure the game is managed the same way.
Yeah, obviously, if last night it's called one way, why is it being called differently tonight? I don't think he's going to get the answer he wants based on the look. And I kind of questioned that last night. There was a couple times where they jumped out there and then he come back and signaled no. And I'm like, whether you go all the way out or not, it's still a mound visit because you went and had a conference part way out.
So the count still nothing there because no pitch has been thrown to Dunn, and the first one is a fastball down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. For Dunn, he's batting .417 through his 4 games so far. How about 5 hits and 12 at-bats? None of them for extra bases, though, as Cumming misses outside again. We haven't seen Jake struggle with the strike zone at all today, but those 2 misses a little bit uncharacteristic given this start so far.
Yeah, and he looked down at the mound after that one like maybe he stepped a little bit different and stepped maybe on part of a hole he started to dig and didn't land right.
That fastball missing well outside. Somewhat of an uncompetitive at-bat here from Jake Cumming to Raphael Dunn. Walk sets up a force play at any bag but home, but you don't want to walk your second guy just because.
Yeah, and sometimes you know that first base hit will unsettle a pitcher for a second.
Stays in the count, 3-1.
His job right now is to battle back, find a way to, force the guy to put a ball in play. See if you can maybe get a ground ball or an easy pop fly.
Ball 4, the fastball misses high and away, so everything missing arm side in that at-bat for Cumming. You wonder what changes there as we get back to the top of the order.
Well, and I honestly, I wasn't paying a ton of attention until he got a guy on base. Was he going from the stretch? Before that, did he change his routine just a little bit because there's a guy on base and all of a sudden his delivery's just a hair different?
Back to the top of the order, Jonas Shields. Last night he came up for his second time in the second inning, so here in the third, the pitching has been a little bit more consistent tonight. Not to knock on Austin Dillon last night, still did his job, went 4 2/3, just got stuck with guys on the bases loaded, and that forced him to exit the game. Good rebound here by Cumming as the first pitch was a strike. Let's see what the second one has in store. Foul ball out of play, quickly 0-2.
So, yeah, after that walk there, he's come back immediately. Fastball down the middle, that one down the outer edge. It was inside, I guess, low inside. I'm kind of jealous because you have TrackMan. I don't see this data when I call games. I am strictly just winging it because I can't tell speeds or zones or anything.
Well, and you almost have to ignore it a little bit. The TrackMan is nice, but at the end of the day, the strike zone, we don't have ABS, so the strike zone is still what the umpire calls. And as long as the umpire is consistent, I don't think either team is going to care where it is on the TrackMan.
Right. No, and you obviously know where I call games from. I call from the side, up the third base side a little bit. I have a terrible angle for in-out.
That one was in.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes. You can kind of tell by body language, but you're right. There in North Platte, I know exactly what you're going through. You're up the third base line. You can really only see up and down, and even sometimes that's a little bit difficult to judge.
I was a little frustrated with home plate umpire last night. He was very, very deliberate in his strike call.
2-2, and this one left alone for ball 3. Now you're in a full count situation, 1 out. You don't normally see runners take off here, but Wenatchee is somewhat aggressive on the base pads.
Yeah, and I think you probably see that a little bit more in this type of league anyway, where what do you got to lose? Put the guys in motion and see what happens.
Payoff pitch, a broken bat up the middle. Slowly, Daichi going to flip to second for 1, and that's the only play he'll have. Great job by Daichi to get that out of the glove cleanly. That's not an easy transition.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised he went to second base with the fact that he had to come all the way to the grass. He had to flip it out of his glove kind of backwards to the second baseman to making the play at second. I thought maybe he'd just come across the diamond and get the guy at first base, but good job of recognizing the ability to get at least one of those runners off the base paths and keep him out of scoring position.
That ball, because of the broken bat, hit only 54 miles an hour out there towards the second base bag. As here comes a dangerous guy, Kainoa Santiago. Missing down and in. Jake Cumming, 1 ball and no strikes. Santiago last night hit a home run that traveled 397 feet on a 3-1 meatball from Sebastian Fry.
And this is a situation, yes, first base is not open, but you don't want to leave one right over the middle of the plate for him to rope one over the wall in right.
Parker Burt trying to steal a strikes there, cannot. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Nothing but fastballs to start off here to Santiago. Cumming got him to strike out looking his first time up. But yesterday going 3 for 6 with 2 runs and 2 RBI. Just a touch inside on that one. 3-0. Again, a walk isn't the end of the world because you have a base open, but with bags loaded, you'll have Colin Bizizzo up, the number 3 hitter in the order for Mitch Darlington and the AppleSox. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Skied over on the left side. Running out of room, Almeida at third. This will land in an unoccupied seat.
And I guess that right there shows you what the coach thinks of him. Green light, 3-0, opportunity for him to maybe drive a ball if he liked it. A lot of leagues like this, you're going to get shut down 3-0 and you're taking a pitch.
Runner takes off. The pitch is high and away, ball 4. And so Cumming issues his 3rd walk. He's got 4 strikeouts, and the bags are loaded here in the 3rd inning. Someone trying to break this scoreless tie. The AppleSox have 2 in scoring position with 2 away.
And if I've been clicking right, we're up to about 50 pitches here in the 2nd inning. So a little higher than what he would want to be at this point in time.
Jake going to go out of the full windup here facing Colin Bizizzo. There's fastball at 93. We haven't seen 93 since he had gone to the stretch the first time. So maybe it is just a little bit of uncomfortability with guys on base going out of the stretch. Shakes off a couple of pitches. There's a changeup, 0-2.
So
Not a bad start.
Yeah, and I'd say now he's got him in a real good position. 0-2. He's thrown the fastball by him. He's got the changeup by him. What does he go to here with an 0-2?
Bizizzo about to find out. It's a fastball, and it's on the ground out towards second. Daichi going to win the race to the bag. The shortstop able to get another fielder's choice. 94 taken back up the box, but the AppleSox leave more on base. No score as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Pippin sticks coming up next. Here on Pip and Putt Golf Night. We had Pips and Pups last night, Pips and Putt tonight. Here with my dad, Dwayne Johnson, my color analyst for the next couple of days. A couple of nights we spent out on the driving range doing what they were doing out there, the long drive competition.
Yeah, we've definitely played a few rounds of golf over the years. Not as much lately, but
I can't say that I've been on the golf course much at all since baseball's kind of become my summer. I played golf once last year. It was down in Walla Walla with their broadcaster, and it was not good.
And you're ahead of me because I haven't played for 2 years. Just too many things going on. I've been asked a couple times, and it's like I just can't go tonight.
Derek Almeida leads it off for the Pippins, 8-9-1 here in the order. Almeida on the season for Yakima Valley, batting .277. He's got 13 hits, including a double and a home run. Derek from Rancho Cucamonga, California, and a Fresno State commit on the infield.
A commit so is he a senior in high school last year? Okay.
JUCO transfer. He was from Citrus College.
I don't know if you said that. I wasn't paying attention to what you said because I was trying to look at a couple of the things that I realized what you were saying.
No, he played a couple years at Citrus and then moving up to the D1 ranks. As you see, quite a few of the players in this league do go from their last year at JUCO into a 4-year program, whether that's NAIA or NCAA. The 3-0 pitch. That's ball 4.
But in this league, you have some kids coming straight out of high school that get to play. I don't think there's a lot of them that can do it, but my understanding is that you can only have so many on a team.
Correct. The Pippins have one of them, I believe, right now, and he played last night a pinch hit appearance in Kaipo Matsushima. He just came out of his senior year of high school. But for the most part, most of our guys are playing in their first or second year of JUCO ball or their first or second year at their 4-year. And it's kind of an interesting mix because you have guys like down in Ridgefield, they have a couple of incoming freshmen to college that are draft eligible that right now they're looking more on what's it going to be like here in a couple weeks when the draft takes place. Am I going to have my name called? This is Cole Hubka. After a throw, chases Derek Almeida back to first. Hubka, a great number 9 hitter for these Pippins. He's been essentially a second leadoff man, hitting .318 in 6 games, most of those coming from the 9-hole. Wave and a miss up at the eyes, 0-2. I don't know if you were listening when we were down in Salem over the weekend, but Danny Weidman was one of their players for the Berries that was actually missing time for the Berries because he went down to Houston and worked out with the Astros.
I did hear you talking about that a little bit, and you know you've got some talent when you're able to get.
Oh, this ball has eyes through the right side. Station to station goes Derek Almeida. Pippins have 2 on, nobody out for the top of their order. There's Cole Hubka being a secondary leadoff man.
Yeah, no, and I was thinking that when you were talking about it before and just never got to that point, but I was thinking that same thing is he needs to look at himself as not the 9-hole hitter, but the 1B hole hitter, if you want to look at it that way.
So here's the top of the lineup, Jay O'Neill. And last night, Jay went opposite field to get a double. When he's going opposite field, you know he's seeing the ball well. He's got a couple of pull side home runs, but this is a player looking to move up in the D1 ranks as he drops down a bunt unselfishly, took a weird hop off of the grass and into foul territory.
Yeah, that one caught the edge of the lip of the grass and immediately went foul. If that stays up on the grass, it's definitely a sacrifice, possibly a bunt single too, because he laid it in a pretty good spot right there.
But after spending a year at Georgia Gwinnett College, where he had an outstanding season in the NAIA ranks, Jay looking to move to the NCAA for this final season, or what right now is his final season, as the new 5-for-5 rule just got approved. He might get a year back in that scenario, but Jay trying to hopefully play pro ball someday. If he can continue to spray to all fields or be unselfish like he's trying to do here, you know he's got a potential future.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a lost art right here. Sacrifice bunting is one of those things that you just don't see very often. And if you can take a guy that has got the capability of base hit, home runs, but then lay a ball down when it's an important situation, you're a 0-0 game, we're in the third, he wants his team to have an opportunity second and third instead of maybe a fly ball and nobody moving up.
And you said lost art. Let me ask you this. I have been in a couple of meetings with various coaches, ours included, and most of the time I hear them when they talk to pitchers in a bunt situation, they say, throw the ball for a strike. But the last couple of nights that I've been watching these baseball games here in the West Coast League, it seems like pitchers struggle to throw strikes when there's a bunting situation. Is that because people don't bunt anymore? Is now the bunt's likely going to be off? Or is that just because it's a different kind of pressure you feel on the mound?
I think what it is they don't see guys turn and square like that. And so I think their mindset says they're in the road. Instead of, and like you said, if they want to give themselves up, sometimes you need to say, okay, give yourself up, get that out, move on. You know, I was always taught if somebody squared for me, throw it in the zone, but throw it up.
Jay going to ground it past the first baseman White and into right field. The wave on from Krusty at third. Here comes Derek Almeida to score. Yakima Valley breaks the scoreless tie, 1-0 here in the third inning.
And so he didn't get the 2 bunts down, but he didn't just go, okay, I failed at what I'm doing. Hit the ball hard over there at first base. First baseman kind of let that ball play him a little bit, and now he's got an RBI for being able to take care of his side of things.
Yeah, they rule that a single to right field. And so Jay O'Neill going to force a visit out here by Mitch Darlington. Looks like the night is done for Dylan Schlinger. A very short hook for the starting pitcher for the AppleSox. We have a new arm coming into the game. We'll get you the numbers on him when we get back. Pippins lead it 1-0. Nobody out. Runners at the corners. Come right back.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
Welcome back to Yakima County Stadium. The Pippins lead it 1-0 after an RBI single by Jay O'Neill. Into the game comes Kelly Crawford, making his first appearance on the season for the AppleSox. So a fresh arm out of San Mateo, California. 6'3", 207 out there on the hill. This is one of those incoming freshman type guys that is seeing collegiate hitting rather, for what is potentially the first time in his career. I don't have the full background on Crawford. He was just added today, but looks to be a hard-throwing right-hander. Those warm-up pitches touching 90 on the radar gun.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you don't know as an opposing batter. You have no stats on him. Obviously an incoming freshman into college. You're just not sure, and you don't know what his confidence level is of throwing against college-level guys.
Daichi Furuhata takes a first pitch strike at the knees. That was 90. And so Daichi, who flew out to right field in the first inning, trying to put the pressure on this right-hander out there on the hill. 1-1. The situation, you've got Hubka over at third and Jay O'Neill at first after an RBI single on the right side. Not exactly the easiest situation to come into first appearance with a team.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's still nobody out.
Daichi golfs one out towards the deepest part of the park. Drifting back to the track is Shields, deep enough to score the run. Chugging in from third will be Cole Hubka, and the Pippins lead it 2-0 on a sac fly by Daichi Furuhata.
And that's just good batting by Daichi, making sure he put the ball into play deep enough to bring that guy in from third with less than 2 outs. That's exactly how the AppleSox started last night. Their first 2 runs were both off of sacrifices to get, first 2 runs. So here's an opportunity now with 1 out to see if they can get something started again.
Yeah, you got to remember, only 1 out. Daichi's sacrifice fly, the first out here in the third inning. The Pippins continue to put the pressure on, and barring a double play, you're going to have a couple more guys come up to hit. As Velasquez sends that one over towards the kid zone. way out in front of that 91-mile-an-hour fastball, 102 off of the bat.
He definitely got out in front of that one. That was the first thing I looked at on your computer was how hard did he hit it, because he saw it well, just too early.
Jay takes off. The pitch is down and away. The throw is not even going to allow a tag. And so Jay O'Neill steals second. There's a man in scoring position with less than 2 outs.
Good pitch to run on there, breaking ball away in the dirt. That's probably one of those catcher would have been better off maybe just put it in his pocket and say, you know what, you can have the stolen base. Fortunately, his shortstop made a good play to keep it from going into center field.
So Velasquez in a 1-1 count. The changeup there at 80. Missing down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Pippins with 2 runs on their 3 hits. Jay O'Neill, 1 of 3 singles. Parker Burt has 1. Cole Hubka had 1. He has scored. Pippins trying to cash in that 3rd hit. Crawford taking a look back at Jay. And now it's 3-1 as 92 misses low.
Yeah, no, and here's where you got to be patient. You know what? If he's not going to throw you a strike, take your walk, put yourself at first base, give your next batter the opportunity to possibly hit a single and drive in the run. You don't have to do it here.
Nick has drawn 15 walks so far this year. Again, getting on base at around a 430 clip. Nowhere close, and so the Pippins will have first and second with only 1 out.
And now you wonder, they're again incoming freshman in college. What's his confidence like all of a sudden? He got that first guy to fly out, but it was a long fly ball out. Now it's a question of where is his level of confidence to come right after hitters.
Parker Burt, a very daunting bat if you are Kelly Crawford. Coming out of Junipero Cerro in San Mateo. Sounds like a Catholic high school. In fact, it is. He was number 20 in strikeouts as a pitcher in the West Catholic Conference.
And Parker's a big boy at the plate. I'm guessing 6'3", 6'4".
Down and in, 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, Parker listed at 6'4". He's a Texas guy, so he's got that Texas bulk.
He's in the DH spot last night, and he looked like a typical DH guy. Big guy, looked like he could swing the bat well, and that's an opposing thing if you're a kid that hasn't looked at this type of competition before.
The opposite way. Parker not going to keep it fair, though. It's 2-1. Got a pitch to hit at the top of the zone. Parker Burt from Mansfield, Texas, but spent his most recent season in college at Regis, which is in Colorado. Had spent a couple years at JUCO down in Texas before that. That pitch right there on the black, 2-2.
Very good location there. Tie him up where he can't extend his arms. Like you said, right on the black.
Crawford looking for his first strikeout in this contest. Issued a walk to Nick Velasquez after a flyout. That was close, but the count runs full. Clayton Kellogg with a very consistent strike zone. A little bit tighter than we saw last night from his partner Jacob Fisher. But he's been letting that low pitch go for a ball. The payoff, Parker back up the middle. They're going to flip to second for 1, and Burt going to ground into a double play. I don't think Crawford saw that ball right away. It kind of scared him as he comes off the field. The Pippins score 2, though, and they lead it after 3 frames, 2-0. Stick around, everybody. We've got Rob Nyer, the commissioner of the West Coast League, coming up in a half inning. Welcome back to the Orchard, top of the fourth inning. Pippins lead it 2-0. I'm Harmon Johnson alongside my dad and color analyst Dwayne Johnson. And now a third man has stepped into the booth, or as my professor back home, Ken Fisher, would say, a man has stepped into the arena. Rob Nyer, the commissioner of the West Coast League. Welcome back to Yakima.
It's great to be here with you again.
Yeah, we got to talk last year during the Father's Day weekend. Talked a lot about the advances the league was making in technology and the hype around the All-Star game that last year. But I want to really just start off this conversation with, we implemented something new last Friday. You and I were both down in Salem for the first West Coast League game of the week. What went into that process of trying to get one game a week featured? We got another one coming up this Friday.
Well, every offseason, we try to come up with something that we haven't done before to sort of just expand the reach and the of the league and get the word out. And I'll give all the credit to the Portland Pickles owner, Alan Miller. It was Alan's idea. He thought it would be fun to try. And he knows this is year one. We'll hope to do more of these next year, start on opening weekend instead of the third weekend. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far.
First pitch here to Landon White. This is the 4-hole hitter here in the fourth inning. White, Morisaki, and Brass facing Jake Cumming. Pippin scoring 2 runs there in the bottom of the third inning. I know you were on with Cole Weber, the Berries broadcaster, on Friday. What kind of things did you talk about as we brought that first game of the week to our viewers and tried to get the league out there?
Well, I think we talked about the technology. That's something I think he asked me basically what makes the West Coast League what it is. Talked about the tech, talked about the incredible geography, all the different, the huge footprint that we have. There's no other collegiate summer league where the players fly to go to play in games. I mean, it really is something special. All the great ballparks that we have, the scenery. It's just there's nothing else like this.
2-1 pitch. That's a strike to make the count 2-2 here to White. Grounded out back in the second inning. And so we talked about the All-Star game last year when it was in Bellingham, but now Victoria getting to host, a Canadian team getting to host the All-Star game. How exciting is that?
Well, for anyone who hasn't been to Victoria, you hop on that ferry in Port Angeles, you go across the Strait of Juan de Fuca, and all of a sudden you're in the most English city in Canada, in North America probably. And it's really a fantastic experience. The ballpark there, the big ballpark.
Payoff pitch misses down and in. That's a walk to Landon White, leadoff base runner here for the AppleSox.
Great crowds for the Harbor Cats games. And for anyone who wants to preview, Victoria is where is home of the game of the week in 2 nights from now. So you can watch the game of the week this week, and then in a couple more weeks you can watch the All-Star game from there. And they have done – it's going to be the biggest event in West Coast League history. All the things they have planned around it, the Home Run Derby with different teams, and Kevin Pillar, the ex-Major League star, is going to be a part of that. It's going to be phenomenal.
First pitch here to Kanoa Morisaki is just a touchdown, 1-0. Cumming struggling with the strike zone here to start. Yeah, I saw Kevin Pillar was added to the roster of folks that are going to be there. As a Braves fan, he played for the Braves very shortly in his career, but most notably with the Blue Jays. That's going to be exciting to have some Major League talent, some ex-Major League talent at the event for some of our future Major Leaguers. Will this ball stay in play for Trey Godoy? It will drop in front of him.
Yeah, I don't even know the full scope of all the things that the Harbor Cats have planned. There's so much I haven't been able to keep track, but I know there's going to be an event on the front lawn of the the provincial legislature building, which is right there when you get off the ferry in the harbor. I mean, it's really hard to describe unless you've been there. It's such a dramatic setting for all sorts of things.
1 ball and 1 strike here. There's a strike number 2 from Cumming. He has 4 strikeouts tonight. He's issued now 4 walks. I'm really looking forward to potentially going back and even just watching. I know I helped the league out a little bit with media last year, but even just the thought of going to Victoria, we don't play them in the regular season this year. I'm really excited the fact that we get to feature a Canadian team for the best event of the summer for this league, as that's going to get through for a base hit on the left side. First 2 have reached for the AppleSox. White up to second, Morisaki at first after the single.
Well, Harmon, when I joined the league 8 years ago, we only had 11 teams. Everyone played everyone. So you would have gotten to go everywhere, including Victoria and Kelowna, British Columbia, and Port Angeles. But with 16 teams and being so far flung, those travel opportunities are not the same as they used to be for the players and the broadcasters.
Now, when we talked last year, there were actually 17 teams. The Cowlitz Black Bears still had a franchise. Here's a bunt down. Is Almeida going to have one play on to first? Successful sacrifice by Cooper Brass. Certainly unfortunate we lost the Black Bears, but I think we've seen with the even divisions now a super competitive first half.
It's been a fantastic first half all around the league, with just about everybody in contention for, if not the first half title, and there are only really 3 teams who have legitimate shots at those at this point, I would say, barring a miracle. A lot of teams have hope for the entire season.
Jake Overstreet in his second at-bat waves and misses. He struck out the first time up. Let's get into the South. That's been kind of a gauntlet to start here. Ridgefield at 16-6 coming into today. But then you've got Yakima Valley and Walla Walla at 11-11. Corvallis at 10-11, doing some non-leagues this week. Portland at 9-10. Marion at 10-12. I mean, That is 4 games, 3 games of separation for those teams in the South.
Right, and the teams that are toward the bottom of that list, they've all have histories of being very competitive, and you can almost assume that they will continue to play well, if not better, over the course of the season.
Yeah, we saw Bend get a big win. Here's a bounce away from Parker Burt. Still doesn't know where the baseball is. 1 run scores, and so the lead cut in half. Moving up to third, Kanoa Morisaki. A little bit of an interesting play there. Parker couldn't find the baseball.
And a lot of foul ground here.
Yes. But we saw a team like Springfield competing last night, getting a win. Bend getting a win last night against the Ridgefield Raptors, who are in the first place in South. And so nothing really has changed standings-wise. But, again, those 2 bottom teams right now, even though the record says they're having a little bit of a struggle, have played some really good games. Nice stop over there at short by Daichi. And that's a big second out recorded here in this 4th inning.
Well, and perhaps the most interesting story for anyone who's not a Corvallis Knights fan is that the Knights have not played as well as we're used to seeing them play early in the season. I think everyone expects them to play well in the second half, if not sooner. Not that they played poorly, but they have not dominated as we're so used to seeing them do.
First pitch here to Castagnola is ball 1. And some exciting news about the Knights. Oregon State and Goss Stadium are putting in a little bit of an upgrade over the next year or so to give the Knights their own space there at Goss, where they spend a lot of their time during the summer.
That's exactly right. I am so happy for that news. I didn't know anything about it until I saw it today. Great news for them to have their own dedicated space in that stadium, which I believe they've never had. They've had to sort of make do, and Oregon State's been great to allow them to play there. And obviously, it's a huge selling point for them, both for their fans and potential players, that you come to play at Goss Stadium on campus there, where home of 3 national champions. It's a great environment, but to have an actual office in the space, it's going to be great for them.
Yeah, and I remember my first trip down to Goss last year. Pippins get to end the year with both Goss and Walker Stadium, 2 of the harder places to play
yes.
in the West Coast League. I remember my first trip. It's like, man, yeah, this is a D1 facility, and
yes.
They have all the toys and all the extra stuff that goes along with being a D1 facility. And, of course, I'm spoiled coming from Nebraska. We have Haymarket Park, which seats 8,000. But between Remax Field and Goss Stadium, 2 of the best stadiums to play on in this league.
Yes.
A walk here to James Castagnola. We're having a chat with Rob Nyer. My dad, Dwayne Johnson, here doing Pecos League play-by-play. And I know you're kind of a baseball historian in your own right. So is there any dialogue that I can spark between you two about maybe the lesser-known baseball in this country?
Well, I am not a Pecos League expert by any means, but it's funny. I just happened to be looking at their map just a week or so ago and was sort of blown away by how, speaking of far-flung, there's nothing like the Pecos League outside of MLB.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of those leagues that if you ever looked and seen who all is in the league and where they're going, and the guys do a ton of traveling on their own to do it, and it's nothing to have a 9-hour drive to go someplace to play ball. And
I just thought it was because of the name, and I think tradition, it was mostly Texas and maybe New Mexico, but not anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely expanded. North Platte's as far north as they go. They added Kansas City last year, but then ended up not being able to keep them in the league. Now there's Trinidad and I just drew a
Grand
blank.
Junction.
Grand Junction is joined in, and so it's an interesting layout. Put it that way.
And there are teams in California now.
Yep.
West Coast League and the Pecos League sharing some geographical separators. Edmonton's a ways up there. That trip was certainly different than anything I experienced last year, as this play might end the inning. Popped up over on that right side. This is the second baseman, Hubka, making the catch. Well, Rob, it's been great to have you in the booth. I'm so glad we could catch up again, and exciting times here for the West Coast League.
Always good to be here, and I know I mentioned this last year, but you are a real asset for this league, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Best of luck. Have fun on the travels.
Thanks. Take care.
We'll be back, bottom of the fourth inning here at the Orchard.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Welcome back to the Orchard. The Pippins lead it 2-1. So great to have Rob Nyer in the booth, and I'm glad you guys were able to have some dialogue about the Pecos League. Rob, certainly a baseball man in his right, and I'm glad that there's some common ground there. And we can talk a lot about the West Coast League, but a whole nother dimension of baseball added there.
Yeah, no, and if you get a chance to kind of look up the Pecos League and look and see what the teams, where they're from and everything, you will be floored at where all they're at. It is a pro league. It is, I would say what you would call the lowest of pro leagues, but it's set up a lot like the College Wood Bat League in the respect that our guys have host families just like these guys do, so that they have places to stay while they're in North Platte playing for the summer.
New pitcher into the game for the AppleSox, as it appears the bullpen will have sort of a carousel. This is Colin Frazier, left-hander, 6'3", 195 from Snoqualmie, Washington. Garcia down in the count, 0-2. So we saw a short start from Schlinger, a one-inning relief appearance from Crawford, who has very little college experience, and now Frazier.
Yeah, no, and I'm guessing the whole Crawford side was probably, let's get his feet wet, but let's not put him in a tough situation and have him get down on something. So here's an opportunity for the next guy. And you might see this all the way through now, where it's one inning, maybe an inning and a half, all the way through the rest of the night for the AppleSox.
Garcia still down 0-2. 79 on the radar gun there from Frazier. I hate to say it because I'm a lefty, but you don't see very many fireballer left-hand pitchers.
Yeah, no, I think that's just tradition. Most, and especially in most roles, you might see a few closers that can really throw, but for the most part, you're talking about finesse-type pitchers from the left-handed side.
Some finesse there as Garcia strikes out on a pitch just a touch off the plate. Here's a lefty-lefty matchup now as Trey Godoy will hit for the second time. Trey grounded into a fielder's choice and made his way to second back in the second inning, but was left stranded there. Big, tall left-handed arm out there for the AppleSox as Godoy grounds it into right at Dunn. And there's two away. I wanted to say grounded it into the turf because we had been on turf, but this is dirt, this is grass. But there is a little spot out there where the grass hasn't grown. That's about where the ball hit.
Yeah,
I was trying to give that a name on the fly.
And my understanding from last year when I was out here, this ballpark is built on an old parking lot, which is really difficult to grow grass because of the surface underneath is basically hard as a rock, and so it's hard to get that grass to really want to take, and when it gets hot and dry, it shows it in a few spots. And the field looks good. There's a couple spots they'd probably need a little more water just to help it, but you guys up here in Yakima, my understanding, very rarely get rain.
Correct.
I thought maybe we were going to get some this afternoon. It clouded up like it, and then it just kind of disappeared. So that makes it difficult to truly keep a ballpark looking good. I was walking the field earlier. I was amazed by the length of the grass. Billwood Field in North Platte that our guys play on, it's probably 3-4 inches tall out here. It's about an inch tall. It's a totally different surface when you look at it that way.
Kind of an interesting pause in the action here. The Pippins took an offensive timeout, which Coach Crustangel rarely does with nobody on base. He's talking to Malachi Emery Henderson, who has been in a funk, and Coach Crusty taking a chance on him tonight in the designated hitter spot. He started with the offensive meeting, and then Quincy Vassar, the pitching coach for the AppleSox, came out, had a defensive meeting, and now the Pippins just wrapping up their offensive meeting.
And this might be, we talked a little bit on his last at-bat. After he struck out, I made the comment to you off air that it looked like he was, instead of cutting down a little bit, and that might be what Coach Crusty was saying is, hey, you don't have to swing for the fences. Trust your swing, put the ball in play and let it do what it's going to do.
Breaking ball in play. This is in the infield, though, as the third baseman Castagnola waits for it to come down. And just like that, the side is retired. Strikeout, ground out, pop out. And 4 innings are in the books. 2-1. The Pippins lead the AppleSox into the 5th inning.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
New arm into the contest for the Yakima Valley Pippins as we start the 5th inning. Gus Musial making his 3rd relief outing here for Yakima Valley, 2nd time at home here. The last time he pitched was a tough scenario. He pitched against the Bend Elks in that 15-13 game, his first game with the team. Got into the 9th inning. He pitched a fairly good 8th inning, stranding 2 runners, and then he was tagged with 4 runs on only 2 hits and 3 walks. And unfortunately, fortunately for him, he didn't take the loss because the 4 runners that scored tied the game. But it was just a heartbreaking situation to be in for a guy that's been a closer role at Yakima Valley College.
Yeah, and that's tough. I mean, sometimes if you're coming into the game in just a little bit different situation than you constantly are at, that can change things.
First pitch past a diving Almeida and into left field. Jonas Shields, the leadoff man, gets his first hit of the day. AppleSox back-to-back innings with a leadoff base runner. That was hard hit, 91 off the bat.
Yeah, good effort at third trying to knock that ball down. That ball was by him before he had a chance to really get there. Adversity right off the bat. We'll see how he reacts to it.
Jake Cumming went 4 innings, giving up 2 hits, but 5 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 1 run.
And I would think Coach Chris Angel probably happy with that outing. The fact that, he got through 4 innings and only gave up a run. Obviously, I'm sure he was probably hoping a few more strikeouts in there where he struck out the side to start with and then ended up giving 5 walks to 1 strikeout after that. But, if your starting pitcher can get through 4 and only give up 1 run, I would say most of the time you're thinking that's a good start for the guy.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Jake, he exits before he can qualify for a decision in a 2-1 game. But you hope that the Pippins bullpen can come in behind him. You've got a lot more arms here at home than you do on the road because you've got some guys that don't travel. Plus, the offense hasn't really gotten going yet. 2 runs on 3 hits.
Speaking of that, talking about more bullpen arms here at home.
Ground ball fair past the first base bag. This is trouble into the bullpen. Garcia watching a guy with a broom. And it'll be a double for Kainoa Santiago. That was close because had whoever was down there in the bullpen gotten in Garcia's way, Santiago would have been robbed of that double. But as it stands, it's second and third, nobody out. The Pippins infield going to have to play in.
Yeah, a little interesting down there. Bullpen catcher was trying to clean up a wet spot. I know they brought in a bunch of dirt early because there was water standing down there. He was probably trying to clean it up, and all of a sudden the ball's coming in at him.
That was fair by maybe an inch past the bag, maybe 2.
Yeah, that was pretty much right over top of the bag.
Musial immediately misses away. 1-0, overcooked that fastball. AppleSox trying to tie or take the lead here with nobody out. This is a situation about limit damage.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly what I was thinking here. You know what? I mean, yes, the odds are keeping them from scoring any runs is going to be really hard. The key to this is if you're going to give up a run, get an out here. Whether it's a ground ball out, fly ball out, get an out. Get yourself into that column that you're working your way through it now.
Musial, like I said, 3rd appearance here for the Pippins. 3 2/3 innings. A ground ball. Where's Almeida going to go? He's going to go to first. A delayed move from second to third by Kainoa Santiago. There's the out. Run scores.
He wanted to come home. His catcher, Burt, was pointing 1-1-1 the whole time, was not even ready for a play at home. And that's probably the right play. Concede the run, get that out. Don't allow the thing you're trying to not have is a big inning at this point. We're only in the 5th inning. You got more plate appearances. Don't turn a bad situation to a worse situation.
First pitch missing outside here to Landon White, a walk and a ground out for White. So it's an RBI ground out for Colin B. Zizzo. Santiago is at third on that ground ball.
The interesting thing here is playing in with 1 out and to try to cut the run down at home. Even though it's a tie ball game and we're only in the 5th inning, the Pippins are kind of somewhat saying we know we're probably not going to score a ton of runs, so we don't want to give up any more than we have to.
The AppleSox now lead the hit column 4-3. As that pitch well upstairs, it's a slider from Musial. 2 years at YVC. This most recent year he was 0-2, but he had 2 saves, 13 games including a start. Struck out 14, walked 12. Year before had only a 3.92 ERA in 20 innings. Down and away, 3 balls, 1 strike. He only pitched in 2 games for the Pippins in 2025, going a total of 3 innings, walking 4, striking out 1. Musial in a tough situation here as he's about to walk Landon White. Ball 4. So now you can play your middle infield back for a double play, but you have more traffic on the base pads if a big hit rings out.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a cross there. Do you want to be back and looking for 2, or do you want to stay in playing, trying to cut the runner down at home? I like the fact that he didn't just concede and throw one right down the middle where, opportunity to rope a ball for a single and score the run. You still have an opportunity. One pitch could get you out of the inning. I've already seen the Pippins turn 1 double play tonight.
8 o'clock here in Yakima. This is a ground ball, but it's going to get through a hole. The AppleSox have the lead on an RBI single by Kanoa Morisaki.
He got the ground ball he wanted. It just happened to be in that right spot between first and second to roll into the outfield. But if that ball's 6 feet to the right, it's right at the second baseman, and it does turn it into a double play. So
Cooper Brass 0 for 1. He grounded into the double play and had a sac bunt back in the 4th. Double play still in order here, but Musial misses outside, ball 1.
So now the key is to find a way to get out of this inning without giving anything else up, giving up the lead here, but lots of opportunities to get that one back. You got to bear down and find a way to not let it continue.
There's a strike. 1-1 here. I did see some action down in the AppleSox bullpen momentarily, but that has ceased. So likely going to see the left-hander Frazier, who just threw a clean inning against the Pippins when we get to the 5th. Musial missing well outside on that, 2-1. I think that's been the frustrating part for Gus is when he's dialed, but when he's in a situation like this, it's those uncompetitive misses that really frustrate you as a pitcher.
Yeah, no, and it's, not only pitcher, but your pitching coach gets really frustrated too because it's hard to make a play behind him.
A ball out towards right field, pretty well struck. Looking up Garcia, this ball off the wall. Couple runners in a traffic jam over there at third. The lead one's going to get a wave, Landon White. And it's an RBI double by Cooper Brass, his first hit of the game. Now 4-2 as the AppleSox lead it. Pippins are appealing to third. Clayton Kellogg says that he did in fact touch the bag. It was not a tag-up type situation, so they must have seen something that made them think that White missed the bag.
Well, that would be the question is, did maybe when he was going by third base, he doesn't step on the bag as he goes by it? I was watching the play in the outfield, and watching the replay that we just got to see on the stream, you do not see that action over at third base.
Yeah, and it's tough. With a two-man umpiring crew, you can only have so many eyes in so many locations, and I think the way I called it, a traffic jam there. You had White and Morisaki both bunched up out at second base because they didn't know if Garcia was going to make a catch or not.
Yeah, no, they were trying to decide, is it over his head? And from our vantage point, I really thought he was going to catch it up against the wall. And obviously you don't want to be too far off of the bases at that point. If he does catch it off the wall, they may have doubled up the runner because he was at second base. He'd had to go all the way back around. But there again, like you said, the field umpire would have went out to make sure of the catch or not. The home plate umpire can't go all the way to third because there's also possibility of plate at home. There's a lot of things happening with the two-man crew to deal with.
First appearance by pitching coach Ethan Salscheider, the 4-year Pip, and now back for his 5th year with the club, this time in a coaching role. So Salsa, another one of those journeymen, is he's trying to calm down Musial, who just has not had the best start to his Pippin season. It's unfortunate for Gus because he's a guy from Bozeman, Montana that has become beloved in the Valley because of his work at YVC. And, of course, associate head coach for the Pippins, Coach Panch, knows all about Gus being the hitting coach at YVC. And you know there's that lockdown factor that he has in his back pocket. Just it seems in his West Coast League games to this point, he has not been able to harness that.
Yeah, and I wonder if maybe they see something in him where when he gets a little traffic, he starts to nitpick just a little too much instead of trusting his stuff and saying, okay, I'm going to challenge you. You know, that one got hit hard. But the pitch before was a seeing eye single.
The double by Brass was 361 feet, 95 miles an hour off the wall. As here's a fly ball out of play to start the count 0-1 to Jake Overstreet. He was 0 for 2 today. Just about left the yard on that double. 363 rather. The wall's 375 to about where it hit.
Yeah, it's about probably halfway up the wall, and tough play for the outfielder to try to, do I go all the way against the wall?
Ooh, shattered bat. Daichi at short going to make another nifty play. Going to have to clean up the firewood out there in the middle infield.
And Daichi's played a great shortstop position. I was down there on the field with you when you were hitting ground balls to these guys. Daichi was at third the entire time taking ground balls, or he didn't take a ground ball at short the entire BP, and then he comes out and plays short, and he's made every play he's supposed to make.
A couple of toothpicks being handed out to the bat boy, and looks like the on-deck hitter going to have to go get a new bat. Unfortunately, that bat did not die a hero for Overstreet, as no run was able to come home. So still 4-2, that crucial second out now on the board. Here's James Castagnola swinging first pitch and fouling it into the netting.
But the key thing there after that double and mound visit, 3 straight strikes. You know, he got the first strike foul ball, then the jam shot, breaking the bat. Here's another one fouled off to the right, pounding right back at the zone, and not nitpicking, trying to hit a corner. He just going right after him saying, here it is.
Fastball up at the eyes, 1-1. Castagnola 1 for 1 today, a double. He was stranded at third, and then he walked back in the 4th inning. So where the AppleSox started off slow and now are on the board, the Pippins started off hot and have sort of tapered off the last inning or so. Ebbs and flows in this baseball game. That's what makes the game so great.
Every night's a different night.
Every inning's a different inning, especially here in the West Coast League. Right back where it came from, Gus couldn't get leather on it, and this single will score 2. Scoring easily is Morisaki. Brass right behind him. Castagnola picks up his second hit of the day, and the AppleSox lead at 6-2 as that big inning that you alluded to has come to pass.
Yep, no, that's the heartbreak there. And it looks like his night is going to be done as Coach Crest Angel's out to make the call to the bullpen.
Tough way for Gus Musial to come into this game, second time pitching at home, and unfortunately the night going to be over probably faster than he wants it to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be right back. Pitching change here at the Orchard. 6-2 Wenatchee as we're about halfway home.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Welcome back to the Orchard. It's 6-2 Wenatchee. Around the league today, here are some scores from the West Coast League. There were the start times. A couple teams doing some non-league action tonight as well, including the Corvallis Knights playing Gunderson baseball. But starting up in that corner, we've got Victoria and Nanaimo. Nanaimo leads at 7-1, bottom of the 5th. Kelowna at Kamloops tonight. They were in Kelowna last night. 5-0 North Paws in the bottom of the 5th inning. Corvallis and Gunderson tied at 1 in the top of the 7th. That's an exhibition game for the Knights, and the powerhouse struggling a little bit against a non-league opponent. Shifu Hasegawa is the pitcher for the Pippins coming out of the bullpen as Gus Musial faces 8 and currently has allowed 5 runs. He's got 1 more waiting for him at first base. Slow wave and a miss, 69 miles an hour
on the slider by Hasegawa. So you go from 85 to 69.
Yeah, no, and as a hitter, these guys are not used to seeing pitches at that velocity. They're used to seeing that 80 plus, and sometimes that could just mess a hitter up for a couple of games.
The fastball for Hasegawa lives at about 80. As we get into some other scores around the league, a fly ball should end the inning. It's much shallower than I thought it was off the bat. This is on the dirt for Hubka, and the side is retired. The AppleSox score 5 times. They lead it 6-2. Halfway home here at the Orchard. Bottom of the 5th is next. Frazier still out for the Wenatchee AppleSox as we're in the bottom of the 5th inning, finishing up those scores from around the league as we welcome you back here to the Orchard. Harmon Johnson, Dwayne Johnson. Bellingham leads it 2-1 over the Port Angeles lefties. The Bells absolutely demolished the lefties last night. They were up 17-0 at one point. It's the bottom of the 5th inning there at Joe Martin Field in Bellingham. The Bells trying to pace the AppleSox at the top of the division in the north. In Walla Walla, interesting score here. The Drifters and the Sweets tied at 2. In the bottom of the 6th, Pippins, if they are going to drop this game, as the score would suggest right now, they need the Sweets to continue to lose as they are tied for second with them. In Bend, the Elks lead the Raptors 2-1, so the Raptors' hopes of clinching the first half still in a little bit of dire straits. They're up by 5 games with 5 to play, but they need a Portland loss tonight to clinch. Portland currently leads 3-2 in the bottom of the 3rd at Walker Stadium. Derek Almeida takes a first pitch strike here from Frazier. It's always fun doing the math, and here in the West Coast League, because we have the first half, second half split, you get to kind of do it twice.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting way when you were explaining it to me how the first half winner is automatically in, then the second half winner's in, and then you got your others. It was one of those, I couldn't quite follow every bit of how you were figuring out all your math, and so it's a different way to look at it.
1 ball and 1 strike here. Almeida walked back in the 3rd inning. He scored one of the Pippins 2 runs. Is it going to pop one in foul territory over on that right side? It will, I believe, stay in play and bounce out of the bullpen. It bounced right up against those benches, though. Very hard to get to for White, the first baseman.
I think it actually ended up over the fence, lit on the cement, just over outside the fence. So I don't think it was actually in play when it come down. So it was right along the edge.
It's hard to see with the netting over there.
Based on the bounce, I think it hit the cement on the other side of the fence. Last night there was a lot of people down there underneath the canopy. I don't see many tonight.
Another one that way. This one's definitely foul, though. So it's still 1-2. Almeida, the 3rd baseman today. Hubka, the 2nd baseman. They were both on in their first appearances in the 3rd inning. Here in the 5th, the Pippins need to find 4 runs. Just seems like at home the last couple of games, it's been tough to score runs in back-to-back innings for Yakima Valley. Check swing, no swing, says Jacob Fisher.
Well, I think you told me the Pippins left 12 or 14 on last night.
14.
14, unable, and that's when you're leaving 14 guys on, that means you're doing things right early in the at-bats. Just can't seem to find a way to get that key hit at the right time.
Almeida again on the right side. This is in play for Dunn. 1 away on the ground out to the 2nd baseman. Let's just flip back through the scorebook for Yakima Valley. Last night, 3 runs in the 2nd inning, 1 run in the 8th inning.
And then back to the Bend series, the Pippins scored 1 in the first, 4 in the fifth on Thursday. Everybody was scoring everywhere on Wednesday night, so that's kind of a moot point. But then you go to the win, 5-2 on the Tuesday night. It was 1 run in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 2 in the seventh, so a little bit more bunched up. But it just seems like, whereas Wenatchee's been able to get back-to-back innings with runs, 4th and 5th last night, 7th and 8th last night, and of course the 4th and 5th tonight, that just really helps you propel your offense as Hubka sends one very shallow out towards the Bermuda Triangle. Who's going to take it? Looks like Bizizzo, the right fielder, makes the catch.
Good job by Bizizzo to make sure he got his voice heard as guys were converging together. Like I said, Bermuda Triangle, that's one of those, sometimes guys get hurt because 3 guys are all trying to hit the same spot. At the last second, you could see the second baseman and the center fielder both pulled up, knowing that Bizizzo was going to take charge of the out.
Jay O'Neill going to hit for the 3rd time tonight. When we get to the 6th inning, Wenatchee's going to send their top of the order up for the 4th time. And that makes sense with 6 runs, 7 hits on the scoreboard. It's just been a little bit tougher for Yakima Valley the last couple of nights at home to be that dominant offensive team we saw early on this year, as Jay swings at one that very likely would have been ball 2.
Tell me this, I mean, I don't get a chance to watch the games a lot because usually I'm finishing our games in North Platte while you guys are playing, so I don't always see it. What's the run situation as far as you guys getting 3, 4, 5 runs in an inning versus other teams getting, the 5 spot? I'm trying to think back, and I don't know that you guys get many of those 4 or 5 run spots a lot of times.
Jay sends a high drive out towards right, out towards the party porch. O'Neill has left the building. Right into the wood chips for Jay O'Neill. The Pippins have some life on a ball that was launched 40 degrees in the air.
Yeah, that was a high, towering fly ball. What little wind there is helping it. That cleared the original foul or home run wall. So either way, it's out of the ballpark. That was inside the short porch area, but well over top of the wall.
335 feet for O'Neill. It was 93 off the bat. With how tall it was, the question was it going to get there? And it did, to cut the lead in half, 6-3. Yakima Valley responds to the 5 spot with a run of their own.
And that's what they have to do at this point. Like I said, it's only a 3-run game. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's not like got to have 3 or 4 right at the moment. 1 here, 1 there. Just work your way back in it.
Daichi Furuhata had a sacrifice fly his last time up. Did he swing? No, says Jacob Fisher. Good to see Jay leave the yard, his 3rd home run, 2nd solo home run. He had a solo shot and a 2-run shot during that run explosion last Wednesday, a week ago, against the Bend Elks. 2-1 here to Daichi. And that was an impressive run because they were in the same inning. Jay led off the inning with that home run, and then his second one, his 2-run shot, came after the Pippins batted around. Daichi couldn't hold up that time, 2-2. So let's see if that home run can help the Pippins get on track here.
No,
2 out, solo shot. Hard to extend the inning past that, but
just a little life will go a long ways as you finish, going through the innings.
Daichi strikes out to conclude the 5th. But Jay O'Neill goes yard. 1 run for the Pippins on that 1 hit, and it's 6-3 going to the 6th here at Yakima County Stadium.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are a very, very good orthodontist, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
There's a look at Yakima Valley's upcoming schedule. Thursday, tomorrow, the series finale with the Wenatchee AppleSox. Mullet Mania night. So if you have a mullet or you'd love to get a mullet cut, you get in free tomorrow night. And then over the weekend, the first half wraps up. Kelowna Falcons are in town for 3 games, all 3 of them currently scheduled at 6:35. We'll have Corn Fest on Friday, Mexican Heritage Night on Saturday, and Picker Appreciation Night for all those who work in our fruit industry on Sunday. Monday begins a stretch of 4 straight non-league games. Dub C here for Big Dumper Got Robbed Night and Food Mascot Olympics, and then Northwest Star for a couple of games to end June and start July. Daddy Daughter Night and Country Music Night will have some live music as well on July 1st. A lot of promotions during this 10-game Pippins homestand, and then an 11th game for the Pippins All-Stars team, which is a group of local celebrities, former players, some former Yakima Bears from those days as well, as we welcome you back to the Orchard. Harmon Johnson, Dwayne Johnson, my dad, my color commentator for a couple of days, play-by-play man in North Platte, Nebraska for the North Platte 80s. As here's a dying quail into center field. Jay made the catch. He goes yard in the bottom of the 5th, and he has a highlight reel catch to start the 6th.
Yeah, absolutely great job of laying out for that at the last second. Knew it was going to be close. I thought maybe he'd try to just shoe top catch it and keep running, but he decided he needed to lay out to make sure he got to the ball.
Take one more look at this Sports Center play. So the life carrying over here for O'Neill. Hasegawa misses outside to Kainoa Santiago. 1-0.
So tomorrow night is mullet night. Does that mean you and Shay are getting mullets for the game?
I don't think I have enough hair on my head to have a mullet. When I was playing baseball, I definitely had enough hair to have a mullet, but it's going to be hard for them to grow hair that quickly.
You guys could just do a couple Mr. T looks.
1-1 out of play. It's 1-2. Yeah, I know they're going to have a barber or a hairstylist, somebody outside the ballpark for people that want to get a mullet haircut, and then they could be let in free. I don't know that I would do that at a local summer league game, but to each their own, I guess. 2 balls and 2 strikes from number 22. Coach Panch has a decent head of hair behind his cap. I know he's been featured a couple times in promotions for Mullet Night. Still 2-2.
I could see him doing it just for that fact.
There he is. There's Coach Panch. Got the hair sticking out of the skull cap. He made a joke with me. He said he's going to shave it before the night starts and show up without a mullet as Shifu gets a swing and a miss. A stellar catch and now a strikeout of Kainoa Santiago, and Hasegawa 2 up and 2 down in the 6th.
So Shifu's come in and done what he needed to do. He got that last out in the 5th inning. Now got the first 2 in the 6th. So give your team a chance to find a way to get a few runs in these late innings.
The 5 spot in the 5th inning, all charged to Gus Musial.
That's a bender in there for a strike at 70. So unfortunately, unless the Pippins can rally back for 3 runs, Gus is in line for the loss right now. Shifu really just changing pace here as he's ahead 0-2 to Colin B. Zizzo. This is the top of the Wenatchee order.
Yeah, and you talked about it when he came in. You pointed out he's got a little bit of what I call a funky motion. There's a lot of activity.
The activity will continue as that ball was fielded foul by Almeida.
He pulls the ball out of his glove. He kind of puts it back in the glove during the motion. A little bit of a twist. I mean, there's a lot as a batter to try to figure out where that ball's coming from. And then when it does come, it's not coming really hard.
Well, unfortunately for Colin B. Zizzo, his on-deck hitter Landon White didn't pick him up. You see a lot of times the guys have some fun. They stand the bat up on its head on home plate when a guy has made it all the way down to first. But apparently Wenatchee all business tonight, leading by 3. Shifu still in an 0-2 count, looking for a second strikeout. He's going to get a fly ball out towards Jay. Not going to have to be Sports Center this time as it's a backpedaling catch for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down in the 6th inning. Pippins trying to score in back-to-back frames when we head to the bottom of the 6th.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Bottom of the 6th inning here at Yakima County Stadium. The Pippins have a good part of the order up against Frazier to try to get a couple more runs on the scoreboard. 3, 4, and 5. Nick Velasquez, Parker Burt, Luis Garcia. A combined 1 for 5 between them so far tonight with a single and a walk. And so this part of the order that's been so good for the Pippins this year needing to come through here in the middle innings.
Got to find a way to string a couple, 2 or 3 hits together and just work their way around. It doesn't have to be, it's great to get the home run the last inning, but there's no such thing as a 3-run home run when you're the leadoff guy. So you just got to find a way to find the green grass, serve it someplace.
Slow breaking ball there from Frazier, beginning his 3rd inning of work. Dylan Schlinger went 2 innings plus, giving up 2 runs. And then Crawford came in and cleaned up the mess, going an inning scoreless and hitless. And now we're on to Frazier here, who, although giving up the solo home run to Jay O'Neill, has set down every other Pippin he has faced.
He's working quick. He's throwing strikes. That's probably the big thing. And as I say that, he spikes one about 55 feet towards home plate.
Just a bit outside. Lefty-lefty matchup here with Velasquez. Nick going to try to stay alive against Frazier. Dropping below the zone. That makes it 2-2, and Nick against lefties actually has a better batting average than against righties, even though he's technically favored against a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah, no, that's an unusual stat.
2-2, the reverse splits might pay off. No, it's going to hang up for Shields. Too hard on the screws out towards center field. Nick Velasquez out number 1.
Yeah, off the bat, I was like you. I thought that was going to be a a one-hop single to the center fielder. Instead, he hit it well enough to just line it all the way out to him.
Parker Burt up for his third trip, a single and a ground into a double play. Parker also hitting better against lefties than righties, only by 4 points though. Batting .400 against lefties, .396 against righties. Gets on base better against left-handers though, although he falls behind here 0-1. Burt going to chop a breaking ball out towards short. Brass gets a friendly hop. The throw pulls White off the bag, but a brave tag applied there. That's a big man running down to first.
Yeah, no, and that's such a dangerous play when the first baseman has to come off the bag. He did the right thing. He got two hands on it, made sure he took the contact as Burt went by, making sure that he didn't get his wrist twisted around. You know, that's one of those situations. You have the safety bags nowadays. The safety bag does nothing for you on that type of situation because you're coming off the bag to make the catch. You know the guy's coming down the line at you.
Yeah, the safety bag, a new rule for the West Coast League here in 2026. Garcia golfs one out to left. Pretty well hit. Luis Garcia has left the building. Back-to-back innings with 2-out solo home runs for Yakima Valley. And it's now 6-4.
So you can continue to see life. That's the thing. And like I said, we got a lot of innings to play. You don't have to hit all of them at one time. A solo here and a solo there. All of a sudden it's a two-run game, and that one was well struck.
That is Luis's first home run on the season. 103 off the bat, 396 feet over the left field wall. We don't see very many out to left here, despite most hitters being right-handed, trying to pull down that line.
Yeah, and right now is the best time if you're going to do it. The flag in center field is not moving at all, so you know you're not fighting the wind. You talk about prevailing wind in this ballpark, basically blows in from left field across to right field. So to hit the ball out and left over that, what is that, a 15, 20-foot wall?
16, I think is the official.
Okay. You know, so you got to hit it well to get it over that.
Trey swings and misses for strike two. Haven't seen the Pippins go yard since Parker Burt did it on Saturday night down in Salem. So good to see the power starting to pull through for this middle of the Pippins order.
Well, and the first out of the inning was a hard line drive to center. So, you know, the guys are seeing the ball well. Had some unfortunate spots where they've hit it right at somebody, but one thing about it, it's hard to field the ball when it goes outside the field.
1-2. Trey lays off a slider, makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. So O'Neill goes long to his pull side, out to right. Garcia goes long to his pull side, out to left. And for Luis, that has to be a big breath of relief as the 2-2 pitch is on the way to Trey. It's a fastball down and in. A guy that has so much power and just hasn't been rewarded yet.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all it takes is that one time of leaving the yard, knowing you got the capability of doing it pretty much every time at bat. All it takes sometimes is one, and string them together after that.
Ball 4 drawn by Trey Godoy. The tying run going to come to the plate in the form of Malachi Emery Henderson. And so with 2 outs, the Pippins continue to work here. No action in the Wenatchee bullpen. And what a moment here for Malachi Emery Henderson. We've said it multiple times. I'm getting tired of saying it, of how much he's struggled. And I hate saying it because Malachi is one of the best guys to hang around with down in that dugout. But what a moment here, representing the tying run.
Yeah, has a huge opportunity.
Oh, I got a hanging breaking ball. Get out of play. Over towards the Pippins dugout. The catcher back there, Morisaki, making the catch, crashing into the netting. The wind just enough to keep that ball in the field of play. And the Pippins squander the tying chance. But They get a run back, 6-4 as we head to the late innings here at the Orchard.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
Top of the 7th inning. It's getting late here in Yakima. We are officially 2 hours into the contest, 8:35 p.m. We started right on time at 6:35. Alongside my dad, Dwayne Johnson, I'm Harmon Johnson. I have a color analyst for this game and tomorrow. It's kind of refreshing to be able to have somebody to bounce ideas off of. Makes me sound less like an idiot talking to myself.
I don't know about that. Sometimes, for me, it's a little different because I've been doing play-by-play the last couple years. Now I'm in that situation where I'm trying to think color side versus play-by-play side. And if you've never done it, and I hadn't done it till you first started doing it in North Platte, and you asked me to do it, and it's a different thing. And when I started doing play-by-play, that was a totally different ballpark, because you become responsible for everything. I said before the start of the game to you and your mother, I said it's kind of weird because all I have to do is stand here and watch and talk. At home, I'm doing the play-by-play, but I'm also the official scorekeeper, and we do it on the computer, and I'm so busy that I don't even know what goes on during the ball game.
Foul ball. Oh, Mitch Darlington could not make the play over there in the coach's box. 1-2. This is Landon White, then Kanoa Morisaki, and then Cooper Brass. Shifu's still out there. Got the final out of the 5th. Pitched a 1-2-3 6th. He's still got hitters that he hasn't faced in this Wenatchee lineup. And so maybe a one-time through the order kind of guy with his slower velocity before the Pippins dig back into the bullpen.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see it be that way. I don't know that this is a guy that you want to have out there for multiple innings.
Golfed out towards left. This is trouble. Godoy will watch it go. Solo home run by Landon White. The AppleSox get the run back as White goes deep for the first time this summer. So now 7-4, the lead back to 3. 95 off the bat, 355 feet out to left.
Yeah, you were just talking about how long will he go. Timed that one up well. Off the bat, it definitely felt like it was gone. Clear defense easily. It's kind of interesting from where we're sitting. The ball setting in the middle of the middle of the road out there.
Oh, I see it. Look at that. Out there in the turning lane. A bunt laid down. Almeida was playing way back at third, and it'll be foul before anybody touches it. So 3 long balls tonight. I told you, what did I tell you when we watched the weather forecast last night? It's going to be hot. It's going to be breezy. The breeze hasn't really persisted as much, but the warm weather and the dry conditions, the ball does fly here if you get it down the poles.
Yeah, no, and last night when I was watching the weather report, they were talking about 30-mile-an-hour winds, and we haven't had really any wind.
On the ground, a chance here for Hubka. Backhand, sets his feet, throws to first
There's the first out of the 7th.
Good play by Hubka to make sure he fielded that, set his feet, and threw it across. Probably one of those, he probably could have got around it, fielded it in front of him, but he was feeling comfortable with the hop that make sure you make that out at first base.
Cooper Brass, 1 for 2, double play, double RBI, sack bunt. Foul ball into the netting, 0-1. You've got Brass, Overstreet, and Castagnola, and then Rafael Dunn has seen Hasegawa so far tonight. Shifu trying to eat this 7th inning and get the Pippins to the stretch with a 3-run deficit to overcome. Breaking ball popped up into the stands. A chance for a short hop. Oh, nope, it's out of play.
Get all the way out.
Right over top the bleachers. Didn't have a chance to hop on those metal bleachers over there.
It's not overly deep behind to get out of play. I like the ballpark setup with the bleachers all the way around, basically from first to third. It's a good venue to watch a ball game from.
1-2 as the slider just misses to Brass. Yeah, and of course, I don't know how much of the history of this ballpark you know, Dad, but built in 1992 for the Yakima Bears, who were a short season affiliate of the Dodgers. This is in play over on the right side, giving way for Hubka in foul territory. 2 away, both outs into the glove of Cole Hubka.
And that's a good play by Hubka to call off his first baseman. That's a much easier play for him to come across than as a first baseman trying to go straight back on the ball. So good play to recognize he had the better angle to take care of the play.
Jake Overstreet up to hit, but this ballpark, when it was built, actually the only permanent seats were about the edge of the dugout to home plate. The farther chairbacks weren't seats. They were bleachers, just like the general admission is now. And so when the franchise moved from Salem, Oregon to Yakima, they played their first 2 years over at Parker Field, which is where YVC plays now. And then they moved into this ballpark, and it's stood here ever since, only going unoccupied for, I think, 1 season before the Pippins were founded in 2014. And it's got 2 clubhouses. It's got the home clubhouse, the visitors clubhouse. It's got all the amenities you need of a former short season professional ballpark. And we're so fortunate to have summer baseball here, as this might end the inning. Almeida makes the throw across the diamond to retire the side. Stretch time here at this great ballpark, Yakima County Stadium. 7-4 the AppleSox lead. Enjoy the stretch, everybody. We'll be right back.
You guys know, get down there so you can hear on the microphone. Anyway, here comes Rocky Man Pippins. Both are good.
Frazier completes his warm-ups as we get ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. Colin Frazier is pitching into his 4th inning of relief. We had some questions about who the pitchers would be for this AppleSox squad, but it appears Frazier is just taking over here as a bulk relief guy before what appears to be a submariner right-hander warming up down in the bullpen for the AppleSox.
Yeah, 3 innings ago, we kind of thought it'd be one guy at a time, one inning, and Frazier's done a good job of just maintaining.
Here's a soft fly ball into right field, or left field rather. Hold my hands up here, figure out where I'm going. Derek Almeida gets his first hit of the night. He's been on twice. He had a walk back in the third.
Yeah, 69 mile an hour off the bat, right off the end of the bat. But that's one of those situations that just proves that you don't have to hit it 102 to get a base hit.
And that will signal the end of the night for Frazier. Probably one of those that he had an agreement with Quincy Vassar, Mitch Darlington, his two coaches, pitching coach and head coach, that if I can continue to get outs, let me stay in the game. But as soon as I run into trouble, let's pull the plug. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. Frazier exits the game, responsible for Almeida over at first. We'll get you the information on the new arm when we come back to the Orchard.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Welcome back to the Orchard. The pitcher coming in for the AppleSox is Clint Beck, a native of Belton, Texas, from Weatherford College. 4-0 on the season with 1 save. He's pitched in 5 games, 10 1/3 innings, 10 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's got a 2.61 ERA. So all 5 times he's been in, he's ended up with a decision of some sort, either a win or a save. And watching this warm-up, it's a low 3/4 slot, maybe even almost submarine, against the 9-hole hitter for the Pippins and then the top of the order.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he throws overly hard. Been in that 80 mark watching the pitches come in on your pitch track. 86 on that one. So I think the big thing for the 80s, especially as a right hand, or the Pippins, see, there you go. The 80s, I'm so used to saying it.
I knew it was going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I did too. Sooner or later, I knew I would say that. For the Pippins, for your right-handed batters, they've got to be able to be focused in and understand that that ball, yes, he's coming down from the side, but trust that it's not going to hit him.
That's a lot of trust, as that is a funky motion. Hubka doesn't seem to have much trouble as he sends it sharply out to short, and it ends up in a double play. 98 off the bat, but right at brass.
Yeah, hit it hard, just hit it right to the shortstop, and tailor-made 6-4-3 double play. The big thing I was talking about, he stayed in there, he didn't flinch, he drilled it just right to him.
We'll see what happens with a lefty up at the plate. Jay O'Neill hit his 3rd home run of the season back in the 5th inning. That was against a left-handed hitter. First pitch swinging, and it's a couple of bounces out to Dunn at second with the music playing. Unfazed is Beck. 2 pitches, 3 outs. We go to the 8th inning. Wenatchee leads at 7-4 here in Yakima.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
New pitcher into the game for the Yakima Valley Pippins here in the top of the 8th inning. Pippins will bring out Wyatt Robinson from Olympic College. Hard-throwing righty on the season. He's appeared in 5 games. He's pitched 4 2/3, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, 3 hits, and 3 earned runs for these Pips. Wyatt had a couple of good outings down in Salem, including one on Friday night where he went an inning and a third without giving up a run. So Robinson going to look to hold off 8, 9, and 1 in the Wenatchee orders. The Pippins are running out of outs to start a little bit of a comeback. Only a 3-run game.
Yeah, the ball game's not over by any means. You've seen the Pippins, couple home runs here in the later innings. His job right now is to throw some strikes. I say it in our games in North Platte all the time. Put a 0 on the board. Give your offense a chance to come up and find some runs.
First pitch strike right at 92 at the top of the zone for Wyatt. He's going to live in that 90 area, 90, 92, then feature a breaking ball and sometimes a changeup. 6'1", 205 is his listing. Looks like he needs a little bit smaller of a cap. Going Ty Horn on me, back to my Nebraska time. He'd lose his cap all the time throwing heat.
Yeah, makes you wonder if the guys purposely wear a hat that's a little bit looser for that reason.
1-1, blown right past James Castagnola. 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 2 with a big 2 RBI single back in the 5th inning that really put the cherry on top of that 5-run frame.
And as you said, he's lost his hat all 3 pitches. To me, as a pitcher, I don't know that would drive me nuts if I had to go pick up my hat after every pitch.
At least you know he's working hard. There's going to be a lot of dirt on that cap. 1-2, fastball yanked upstairs. Parker with a little bit of a shrug before he threw back the ball. Come on, man. Keep the hat on. Reminds me of that interview with, who was the Major League pitcher? Was it James Paxton? Somebody got hit in the head on a line drive in a Major League game, one of the pitchers, and the reporters were all asking him about it after the game, and he's like, I was wearing a hat. They were like, did it hurt? He's like, I'm wearing a hat. They're like, well, the hat's not a protective thing. He's like, yeah, it is. Why would we wear it then?
Must have been made out of something more than just cloth than what most hats are made out of.
Must have hit him on the bill of the cap where it's solid. Payoff pitch, left upstairs. Castagnola draws a gritty walk. 8th inning starts with a free pass. Pippins have limited those so far tonight. You look at the box score. Musial issued 1, Cumming issued 5, but Hasegawa none, now Robinson 1. Certainly a few too many, but not as many as we had down in Salem last Friday.
Yeah, and base on balls tend to come back to hurt you, especially when you're talking about a leadoff hitter.
Whoa, watch out. Who did that get? I heard hard contact down there at the Pippins dugout. Sounded like ball to skin. One of the pitchers on reserve there. Catch a 91 right to the leg, it looked like. Hopefully everybody's okay down there. I guess I'll find out when I go down for postgame. It's strike 1 to Raphael Dunn. Showing bunt now, and Robinson misses upstairs. Dunn tonight has popped up to Hubka twice. He's also walked. Shifu's final line tonight, 2 1/3 innings, giving up 1 hit, which was the home run, which means 1 run it was earned. No walks and a strikeout. So a good outing for Shifu tonight.
You just look at the scoreboard right now, and it's one big inning, as is the story a lot of times, that separates you in this contest. I mean, how many times can you think of when you're in summer ball or even Legion ball, when you were coaching me, there was one big inning that put the game away?
Yeah, no, it's that way in pretty much every level, too. If somebody has a big inning, you can always go back and look and go, gosh, if we could have just held them to 2 runs or 3 runs that inning, we're right in the ball game. And, yeah, you give up a 5 spot, it just makes it so difficult to work your way back because you're always clawing then at that point.
3-1 the count here to Raphael Dunn, the Thailand native. Line shot out to Hubka. He'll make the catch. There's the first out here of the 8th inning, a line drive to Cole. So third time Dunn's been out there at second base. Going back in my scorebook, I'm going to list off anything that qualifies as a big inning. In my opinion, it's more than 3 runs. Tonight, of course, 5 in the 5th. Last night, 4 in the 1st for the AppleSox. On Sunday, even in a win for the Pippins, they gave up 4 in the 8th. You look back earlier on that series, the Friday game, the Berries scored 4 in the 4th. I mean, it's just one of those that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of limiting the number of times it does happen.
Yeah, I was trying to look at some of our stats in the Pecos League, and the fans obviously don't know. The Pecos League is known for scoring. The 80s, they got beat this afternoon 20-15.
Ouch, right into the back of Jonas Shields. A painful hit by pitch gives him first base.
And I'm going to give you a little quick recap of where they've been. They've been down in Santa Fe for 4 games, and then they were in Roswell for 3. Just the last 6 games, the scores were 19-17, 22-17, 16-11, 21-9, 9-5, and 20-15.
Quite a bit of offense.
I was doing a little research before I came onto the broadcast last night, just kind of how many times have we given up 5 or more runs in an inning, and I want to say it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 13 times. I was trying to skim back through box scores real quick, and it's so hard when you're giving up those kind of numbers, but there you go. You can see it adds up really fast when you give up those numbers.
Salsa out there for a quick visit, trying to calm down Robinson, who has walked and hit a batter. He also got the line drive out from Raphael Dunn. So here's Kainoa Santiago, and after what happened in the 8th inning of last night's game, you know that he has one thing on his mind, and it's put this game out of reach for Yakima Valley. Led off the 8th inning last night with that 400-foot home run. Robinson misses upstairs, and Salsa, a young dude, going to have some gray hairs if that continues to happen this season.
Yeah, no, it makes it tough, and as a pitching coach, you can only say so many different things. And
high and tight.
Sometimes guys make good pitches, and batters make them pay for a good pitch too. And
you look at Robinson's numbers, and pretty good strikeout percentage, gets a pretty good whiff percentage, but then his walks is just kind of that hanging number over his head. Three balls, no strikes, and in Wyatt's case tonight, this is certainly not every night, but there's just been some big misses that when you miss big, it's hard for an umpire like Clayton Kellogg to give you a strike on a close pitch. 4-pitch walk after the mound visit. So 3 free passes issued to load the bases. There's 1 out in the inning, and this is a dangerous situation to be in for the Pippin staff, as Coach Crustangel has seen enough of Wyatt Robinson and is going to go back to the bullpen.
Yeah, and as a manager and a coach, it's just hard to not come out when you watch your pitcher walk 3 in a row. You can't trust them at that point that they're going to come back and throw strikes and get out of the inning. You have to have a little bit of a short leash sometimes.
We'll get a pitching change. We'll be right back here at the Orchard.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Here's a pitching change I wasn't expecting in this series, but the long-awaited debut of Jackson Walker on the mound for Yakima Valley, a two-way player who won the Big Stick Award, the best hitter in the NWAC Conference, has committed to St. Louis University, but making his first appearance on the mound this summer in a tough situation, bases loaded, 1 out in the 8th inning.
No, that is an odd situation to have to come in as your first time pitching for the summer. It's a lot of traffic. Obviously, he's been on the mound before and knows what he's doing, but it's still, if this is your first appearance at the Summer League situation, it's a little harder to come in.
First pitch is a fastball inside to Colin Bizizzo. Jackson going to be about 85 on the fastball, but Panch especially has been telling Krusty and Salsa he's got to get on the mound at some point. It's two-way talent that we're not using right now. Walker has been on the bench the last couple of series just because the stick hasn't quite been as hot as it was during the spring season. Hasn't carried over into the summer, but now getting a chance to see his arm for the first time. Three balls and no strikes, and a tough way to start here for J-Dub, as a walk would bring home a run and make this a 4-run game. Pippin's bullpen empty. This is Walker's debut and his chance to work out of some trouble. Unable to steal a strike, and it's a 4-pitch walk, third walk of the inning, and the AppleSox lead it 8-4.
You know he's disappointed with that coming in and not able to locate a strike in the first 4 pitches. He's got to go back to what got him to be that two-way player. Trust himself. Don't try to do too much with it. Challenge. See if you can roll the ball into a double play situation.
There's a strike for J-Dub. See a couple more of those upcoming. Pitching stats for him hard to find, but as a pitcher, he's been in the West Coast League before, albeit very limited action. 0-1, this is trouble. A gapper all the way to the warning track. 2 runs home to score already. The man from first, Colin Bizizzo, getting the wave. The ball is bobbled. Bases clearing double for Landon White. And this game is all Wenatchee here in the 8th.
Yeah, that ball was laced, and it was in the gap. Nothing you could do, 100 mile an hour off the bat. One of those that you commend him for throwing a strike, but the batter just outdid him on that one.
So close the book on Robinson. 3 of the 4 runs scored so far belong to him. Walker already charged with his first run against. Does not have an out. What does that mean? Infinite ERA.
Nobody warming. I'm going to guess he's going to get an out before the night is done.
I hope so. Jackson's pitching stats in the West Coast League. He made 1 appearance on the mound for the Corvallis Knights in 2024. Went 4 innings, giving up 8 hits, 6 earned runs, including a home run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. The next summer, last year in 2025, he actually had a 1-0 record with a 0 ERA in 5 games, getting 1 start, pitching 9 2/3 innings, and only giving up 4 hits on 7 strikeouts. So you know the arm is there for Jackson. I just think the magnitude of the situation was not one to comfortably make your debut in.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you there. That's a tough situation to come into.
There is 1 out on the scoreboard, and barring an unconventional double play, still got to find a couple here. This is Kanoa Morisaki. The 1-2 from J-Dub, a foul ball over towards the Pippins dugout. So we go from the situation coming into the inning where it was a 3-run game, or a 4-run game after the home run, and now it just completely feels like the tire's been deflated.
Yeah, no, the energy is gone right out of the stands and everything because of that 4 spot right there. I think everybody probably still felt like there was an opportunity to still come back. When it's only a 3-4 run game, you still have that opportunity. But now with the 4-run spot up there in a 7-run game, it's so difficult to keep on getting to the plate and finding a way to get base hits now.
Pippins in danger of losing a 4th series and in danger of dropping below 500 for the 2nd time this year. 1-2, served out of play over on the left side. It was a hot start for Yakima Valley. They got off to a 6-3 start, winning their first 3 series. And I think the summer is starting to wear on these guys a couple as we get closer and closer to the end of the first half. And everybody feels it. And you can see it in teams like Corvallis and Portland that are usually juggernauts, that both of them right now below 500. It's so tough to play your best game every night. But it's just been kind of a question mark, particularly on the mound, as here's a line drive. Nice catch out there by Cole Hubka. A couple of tough plays for Cole in this inning. He has both outs so far.
And he stayed with that well because off the bat, I'm sure to him it seemed like it was coming quicker, and your tendency is to react, and then you realize the ball's not coming at you quite as quick. Sometimes those are the ones that handcuff you and you don't make the catch. So he did a good job of staying with the ball and making sure he made the catch.
Cooper Brass, a double in the 5th inning. Good to see J-Dub get a out there. Looking for that first strikeout here as a Pippin. Getting a strike there on the inside 3rd.
Well, you know these guys better than I do, obviously. Is a lot of the guys on the Pippins team, are they regulars at a lot of their colleges? You talk about them, being a little bit tired. Is this a situation where some of these guys are probably playing way more than what they typically have seen over the last year?
There are definitely players on every roster in the West Coast League that have that. The guys that kind of bide their time at their schools. But you've got some guys that have been regularly playing, and some of that is the wear and tear from the season as well. But not trying to make excuses, obviously, just bringing up the West Coast League summer is hard to endure because you move away from your school, your family, wherever for 2 months out of the year, and you play baseball 6 out of the 7 days. How many of these guys have played regular, even if they're just suiting up and sitting in the dugout 6 out of the 7 days of the week?
Right. No, and that's what I was thinking, because some of these guys maybe, yes, they practice every day. They take some BP, they take some infield or outfield, but they're not out on the field day in, day out.
Yeah,
and
you think of D1 college, you're usually going to play a Tuesday and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Again, not making excuses. Everybody has to go through it, but you wonder if some of the arms here for the Pippins are tired with these higher runs that they're giving up.
Exactly. And like you said, typically your D1, you're playing 4, maybe 5 games in a week, where in the West Coast League, you're playing Tuesday through Sunday. You get your off day on Monday almost every Monday, but you're constantly out there on the field playing.
2-2, foul ball.
heads up to the folks that are starting to leave the ballpark. That one almost got a passing car.
These guys are young guys and lots of energy, but, you know, baseball will take a toll on you after a while.
And nothing says that the Pippins are out of it. Anything can happen in this sport. It's 11-4. It's certainly a mountain to climb. 2-2, cued off the end of the bat. Another chance for Hubka. He can get all 3 outs, and he will. 8 men come to the plate in the 8th inning. 4 of them score. It's 11-4. Pippins have 6 outs to work with when we get to the bottom of the 8th.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
Deeper into the late innings we go. The Pippins trail the AppleSox 11-4 here at the Orchard. Pippins have 2, 3, and 4 in their order. Daichi, Nick, and Parker. Daichi without a hit so far today. Nick also in that category. Parker's 1 for 3.
Yeah, and I think what I'd like to see out of the Pippins here is take a couple pitches. You know, the last inning was 2 pitches and done. See this guy a couple times, find something you like, find a way to drive the ball someplace. You know, you need base runners, so it doesn't have to come on pitch 1.
Daichi taking strike 1. 87 on the radar gun here for Beck. Clint Beck got those 3 outs on 2 pitches thanks to a double play as Daichi lines it to White for out number 1. Tough night for Daichi. He's got a sacrifice fly with an RBI, but other than that, 0 for 3.
That one got in on his hands and tried to fight it off, just not enough to get it over top of the first baseman's head.
Nick Velasquez, 0 for 2, a fly out, a line out, and a walk. Well, the good news for the Pippins, despite the fact they're down big, the first place team in the league, the Ridgefield Raptors and the WCL South, are currently trailing 3-1 to the Bend Elks. And so if that score holds, you're not going to lose a game from the first place squad. The only problem is Walla Walla currently leads Springfield 4-3 in the top of the 9th, so the Sweets looking to jump a game above Yakima Valley if this score here at the Orchard holds.
And that has to do with the long-term all-season lead, correct?
Correct, as here's a shot by Velasquez to left. Santiago makes the catch 2 away. Yeah, it's going to be near impossible for Ridgefield to fall so far to allow somebody else to win the first half. But the second half winner and then the 2 next best wild cards make the playoffs. And so if you can continue throughout this season to be a top 4 team in your division, that's going to at least guarantee you a spot once the regular season's over.
And it's hard to believe that we're already trying to chase kind of the metrics of can you stay in the top 4. But I think just in my experience being in this league last year, you look at who's behind the Pippins and the Sweets. Corvallis idle tonight, although they are playing. They're playing a non-league game at 10 and 11. Portland at 9 and 10 coming into the night as Parker Bird is going to get a seeing eye single to get his second hit of the day. Hard hit back up the middle at 98.
And going off of that, I'm going to ask a question. And each team has a winner in the first half and a winner in the second half. But the same team could win the first and the second half, correct?
Yes.
So now you're taking 2 more.
Well, the runner-up team in that half will get the title.
They automatically
Correct.
get it at that point. They're considered a title even though they didn't win. So they wouldn't necessarily have to be at the top of the standings.
The
second,
overall, no.
Correct. Okay.
Tommy Lamb going to pinch run for Yakima Valley. Parker Burt will have his night be done. We'll have a new catcher into the game when we get to the 9th. Tommy, good to see him back with the team. Started off the season with the Pippins and then stepped away. I believe it was for classes. There were some guys that were still finishing up school here at JUCO because they go with 3 semesters. It's trimesters, I guess is what they call it. And so Lamb, a speedy outfielder, into the game as the pinch runner. Garcia, after his home run last at-bat, going to ground out to short here and in the inning. We go to the 9th. Wenatchee leads it 11-4. We'll be right back to Yakima.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Next broadcast of Yakima Valley Pippins baseball will be tomorrow, Thursday, June 25th. The 2 Apple-based teams in this West Coast League squaring off in what it looks to be will be a series salvage type of game for the Pippins. AppleSox lead this one handily. Coverage begins at 6:20 p.m. We'll be on the air with first pitch at 6:35. Me and my dad doing the second of our 2 games here at the Orchard. Dad, it's been great to have you here for this first game, this Wednesday game. Sorry the score's not a little more competitive, but I think we're seeing kind of what it was like back in North Platte, maybe a little bit more polished for both of us.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously you've done more games. I've done more games, that type of thing. I wish I had a few more stats in front of me to be able to help you on that end of it, but I tell Harmon all the time on my broadcasts, I give him a bad time because he is very, very prepared, and I tell him all the time I wing it. And that's pretty much how I do it. Pretty much every night is I come, I call it, I see it as I see it, I wing it. I don't have a lot of extra stories and extra information, partially because it's hard to get for the guys I have. Harmon has a little more background information he can pull on the college level, where for my guys, a lot of them, they have very little information to be had.
New pitcher for the Pippins, Hound Tanaka, making his first appearance in quite a while. Another soft-throwing Japanese native. He pitches from the left side, though, whereas Shifu Hasegawa pitches from the right. He faces 7, 8, and 9 in the order. Jake Overstreet leads it off, the only man that didn't hit in the 8th inning. As Tanaka in an even count here, 1-1. When you and I were talking about the playoffs, and I didn't quite get to fully bloom into my point of Corvallis can get hot at any time, Portland can get hot at any time. Heck, the Marionberries were a playoff team last year in their first season as a franchise, and although they are struggling a little bit to start, they could get hot at any time, and you don't want to be slumping at the time everybody gets hot, because then you might not be able to make up that ground, as the count's now 2-2. You and I were talking last night, the second half schedule for the Pippins is difficult because 18 of their 27 games are against 3 teams. Walla Walla 6 times, Corvallis 6 times, Portland 6 times. You can gain and lose ground really quick.
Yes, yeah, no, you're exactly right. If you're playing the same team over and over, they see you, you see them, and like you said, that head-to-head, it's like a 2-game swing every time you play.
Payoff pitch upcoming here from Holland Tanaka. This is fouled straight back.
But like going off of your point, the nice thing about you can have a poor start to the season and all of a sudden get some guys rolling, and the second half you have an opportunity to still make a playoff, where in a traditional system you might be so many games out in the first half that, and guys then kind of lose interest. And that's, I think, why they do it the way they do it, is they're trying to make sure guys continue to have interest in the game.
Jake Overstreet strikes out for the second time tonight. Hound Tanaka picks up a K. Good to see Hound come out and win that payoff pitch. For Tanaka, pitching in only his 3rd game for the Pippins. He's pitched an inning total. That was his first strikeout, 2 walks, 2 hits, 2 earned runs. Looks like he's going to get a fresh baseball here from Clayton Kellogg.
I think he went to his mouth and the umpire said, no, you have to go to your leg, your arm, whatever. You can't go to your mouth and then go right to the ball. Take the ball out of play and start with a different one.
James Castagnola, so far on the day, 2 for 2. Double walk, single walk. Had the big 2 RBI single in the 5th inning that kind of put the bow on that one. The AppleSox would score 4 in the 8th, thanks to a bases clearing double by Landon White. All it takes is a couple of big hits either way. That's how we're at the 11-4 score we're at right now. Pippins just unable to come up with those big hits, and frankly have not had the base traffic like they had last night. Wave and a miss, Castagnola in front of that 80-mile-an-hour fastball. Between the two teams last night, there were 26 runs left on the bases.
Yeah, no, and you know that means there's a lot of guys on, and there was many opportunities for that one base hit that would have scored a couple, and changes the whole complexion. And I was thinking of that. A lot of the games I call in North Platte, we've had that same situation. We got guys at second and third and 1 out, and we can't seem to find a way to get that key hit at the right time. And then all of a sudden we give up a 3 or 4 or 5 spot on the back end of that, and all of a sudden things get away from you.
2-2. Could not quite drop it in. Count runs full again. Tanaka from Yakima Valley College went 0-1 in 5 innings at YVC. Played in 6 games. 11 strikeouts to only 5 walks, but gave up 9 hits and 10 earned runs. For an inflated 16.88 ERA. He gets a second strikeout here as Tanaka looks good after a little bit of rest.
Kind of looked to his dugout after that second strikeout like, come on, boys. We still got this. We have an opportunity.
Hound's a character, too. He's so fun to be around. His English is not quite as good as the other Japanese natives on this squad. Daichi Furuhata speaks English fairly well. Shifu speaks it probably the middle of the 3, and then Hound is kind of the lack of English for him. Looks like he's going to get a 1-2-3 inning here. Tanaka fired up, and the Pippins have 3 outs to work with, trying to get some positivity going into tomorrow. 11-4. We'll be back with the bottom of the ninth.
Gear Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Ninth inning is upon us here at Yakima County Stadium. Pleasant night it's turned out to be. I was expecting sweltering heat and blowing winds, and it ended up being a fairly nice central eastern Washington night.
No, I would say, yeah. I mean, as far as a ball game to be at, to sit and watch, I think, this is probably about an ideal night. It's still nice and warm, 81 degrees. There's virtually no breeze whatsoever.
Trey Godoy, Malachi Emery Henderson, Derek Almeida, the three scheduled to hit here in the ninth inning. Pippins under the lights here on a Wednesday night as Trey falls behind 0-1. I did notice last night you and I and Mom got dinner, and then I drove across town. Getting out of the car over at my host family's house, it was just a little bit brisk, but it normally gets that way here on this side of the mountains. You're going to have hot days, very comfortable nights at this time of year, and as long as the wind's not blowing and messing everything up in the press box, I'll take this.
I would guess your prevailing wind is coming off the mountain, so you get a little cool breeze in the evenings.
1-2 as Godoy swings through that one. Trey so far today 0 for 2 with a walk, but he reached on a fielder's choice, so been on twice. Yeah, it's been interesting adapting to the weather out here during the summers. I know we made the comment, we drove around on Monday as Godoy swings through that one. He strikes out. There's one away here in the ninth. It's been stormy back home out in Nebraska, and here, at least, on where we're at in Yakima, you don't really have to worry about that as much. You can kind of go about your day and think that you're going to get through with sunny every day.
Turns hot and blustery in central Nebraska. You about figure on by the time the sun goes down, there's going to be a storm or two bloom up someplace. Around here, you just know it's going to turn nice.
Malachi watches ball one. That almost shaved a bit of the corner off. Emery Henderson 0 for 3 today. He's had a couple of early swings. Yeah, I'm so used to the here's 6 o'clock, the sun is setting, here come the storm clouds type of reaction in Nebraska. Here it's just like, well, the wind's going to die down and the temperature's going to cool off, and it's going to be nice and clear and maybe a little buggy here at the ballpark because of the lights, but overall, fairly nice night. The 2-0 into the sunscreens. It's 2-1.
But even last night, I sat down in the stands, and I didn't notice the bugs being really that bad. We deal with the mosquitoes really bad out in North Platte, and we're not far from the river, and you get into this time of year, and the lights go on, and the bugs come out, and I'm thankful I'm in the press box because it looks like the people down below are just get ate up at night.
2 balls and 2 strikes here to Malachi. He's going to send one fairly deep out towards left field. Santiago got spun around, and Malachi is going to send one right off the top of the wall. Emery Henderson with an extra base hit. That's back-to-back nights with a hit for Malachi. It's not the long ball he wants, but opposite field power over the left fielder's head is exactly what he needs.
that was something his last at bat, I was hoping he would take a pitch or two, let the ball travel. He's a strong fella, opportunity to drive the ball to all parks, and there he did. That one off the bat was no doubt over the left fielder's head. Great way to, possibly get out of a slump. You hit the ball the opposite field and hard, that means you're seeing the ball well.
Derek Almeida digs in, a single, a ground out, and a walk with a run scored. 99 off the bat for Malachi. And if you look at his most recent spring season up at Wenatchee Valley College, which is ironically where the AppleSox play. So Malachi very familiar with the AppleSox home ballpark, Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. His first half of the year in the NWAC was extremely slow. I think he was hitting only about 120. He turned around and became the home run leader by the end of the spring season, was up near the top in batting average as Almeida pokes one through the infield for a hit. Malachi gets the wave. The throw pulls the catcher Morisaki up the line, and the Pippins, with some late life, score a run here in the ninth on an RBI single by Derek Almeida.
And this is what they need to carry over to tomorrow night. Can they come all the way back? Probably, it's a difficult thing. You never say never. But an opportunity to see a few things go right late here will help with tomorrow with an opportunity to salvage the series if they're not able to come all the way back tonight.
Sounds like we're going to Taco Bell after the game. 5 runs scored means the Pippins have earned everybody in the ballpark a free Doritos Locos Taco on the way out the door. Have you ever had a Doritos Locos Taco?
I can say I have not.
It's a crunchy taco, but the shell is made out of Doritos. As the ball gets to the backstop, a wild pitch going to advance Derek Almeida onto second.
So you're saying it's a little bit like a walking taco?
Somewhat. It's just you can pick this one up. It's not like nachos. It's a Doritos shell.
And I don't know. Maybe that's not a thing out here, walking tacos?
Oh, no, they have them.
Okay.
But Taco Bell nationwide has their Doritos Locos Taco. It's just your typical old crunchy shell as the Pippins might get another run here. Nope, late stop sign thrown up by Krusty. Cole Hubka with a single. That's 3 straight hits for the Pippins.
And that's 3 straight hard hits. Not only hitting the ball, that's 3 guys in a row that hit the ball hard.
Well, here comes Quincy Vassar to have a chat with his right-hander Beck, trying to get through his, what would this be, 3rd inning of work. Top of the order's up. It's Jay O'Neill. Again, hard mountain to climb, but if there's any time to do it, it's the 9th inning with 1 out.
Yeah,
you don't want to get that second out because it just means everything is hypersensitized.
And each time they get a base hit like this, that just puts a little more pressure on the pitcher because then he's starting to think, oh, crap, how do I get the next out? So if they can continue to find a way to just a couple more base hits, all of a sudden that pressure becomes very difficult.
Had some fans down here trying to get a song request in. I pointed them in the direction of our public address announcer.
You weren't going to sing it for them?
No, I don't think they want to sing into these mics. The people out here can't hear us unless we start screaming. A little bit of a rally situation here for the Pippins as Jay O'Neill with a home run today and a single watches that one go by downstairs.
Nobody warming in the bullpen, so.
Check to first. Hubka back in plenty of time. Cole Hubka has 2 hits today. Derek Almeida 2 hits today. You look at Luis Garcia with a solo shot. Parker Burt with 2 hits today. So you have Pippins that are contributing. Jay O'Neill, a single and a home run.
Well, and the Pippins have out-hit the AppleSox 10-9.
Tough strike call there to Jay. It was pretty close on that outer edge. There's a rally cap. That's the proper way to do it. Don't turn your hats inside out. It ruins them. Sky ball out towards very shallow left. Santiago going to call off his shortstop brass. And now the Pippins down to their final out. Last hope is Daichi Furuhata to put another run on the board. 11-5 the score. Decent amount of folks have stuck around on a nice night. It's unfortunate some people left when the game got out of hand. They don't get those tacos. I know my sister's back home listening to me rave about Doritos Locos Tacos. That's why I keep bringing them up. Daichi all! Look what I found. Beck going to end the game on a 1-3 putout. Furuhata 95 off the bat. And the Pippins fall in this one 11-5. That's baseball.
Yeah, no, good stab there. That's one of those. He ends up in a good fielding position, and I'm not going to say he saw the ball into the glove. That's a reaction thing, and a lot of times, you stick the glove out, good things will happen, and it did. But there was life in the ninth inning, and that's an encouraging thing, considering they could have went up there and went strike one, strike two, strike three, let's go sit down, strike one, Instead, you got a run, got a couple other guys on with some hard hit balls. So life that can contribute to tomorrow night's game.
Pippins have multiple multi-hit affairs, including Derek Almeida, who went 2 for 3 with a walk. He scored a run. Probably who I'm going to go talk to down there afterward, despite the couple of home runs for Yakima Valley. They fall in this one 11-5. They lose the series to the AppleSox, have a chance to salvage the series tomorrow. 6:35 p.m. is the first pitch. Dad, enjoyed having you up here for the first of our 2 games together. Looking forward to tomorrow night. Hopefully you're more settled into the color roll now.
No, I'm definitely kind of feeling a little bit more of the relax of where the color side goes. Like I said, if you've never done this, and I'm not well equipped with it. I'd never done it before till a couple of years ago, and now I'm doing both sides of it. I'm getting it, I think, to that point where I'm a little more comfortable.
For everyone associated with the Yakima Valley Pippins, I'm Harmon Johnson signing off for tonight, saying stay safe, have a wonderful rest of the night, everybody. The final score in this one, Yakima Valley falls 11-5. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 6:35 p.m. AppleSox and Pippins, Game 3. Until then, have a great night, everybody. You've been watching Pippins Baseball.